Pike's love interest is going to be saved by goat milk, and I can't remember anything else.
Captain's Pod, Stardate 2021-75.1. Welcome aboard the Starship's Enterprise, and thank you for joining us on our continuing voyages through the final frontier. I'm your Captain Ian Whittington, and with me as always, she's ready for some hardcore gornography. It's Ambassador Deneé. Welcome back. You love it when I crack myself up.
Oh my God. No better time to launch our own private Patreon than the intro like that.
This is the beginning.
You can just head on over there and see any related
all
photos.
All of the gorn. Yeah, gorning all. Anyway, no Commodore Dicer this week as previously promised. He has one foot stuck in a turbo lift and the other foot stuck in a replicator. So he'll be with us next week to join us for episode 3.
There's no way you're recovering from that. I thought you were going to put him in the pattern buffer, but you put him into two things that are going to annihilate him. Are you mad at him?
No, I tried to reroute the transporter through the replicator because they use similar technology. I figured I could replicate him through the little hatch and he would just like crawl out of it. I got a foot.
Like a little Willy Wonka style?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah, he is stuck in the guts of this Enterprise like Veruca.
Mm.
Yeah. Veruca?
No.
That was her name.
No.
What was her name?
No, that was like the TV kid from like the OG Willy Wonka.
Oh, no, but she was one of the kids.
Mike TV, I think was his name.
Mike TV.
Yeah, he was the one that got turned into all these little particles and then miniaturized because the idea
that's a thing.
Was that Willy Wonka would take a chocolate bar that was huge and then blast it. It would turn into particles in the air and transfer over to a TV, like a little monitor thing, and then reconfigure itself into a tiny version, essentially like all of the flavor you can pack into a big bar of chocolate. You get to have in a bite-sized bar of chocolate. And this kid who loved television so much was like, I want to do it. So he goes and pushes the button and miniaturizes himself.
So what you're saying is Willy Wonka stole from Star Trek?
I believe with all of my heart that you could say that about anything at this point.
Absolutely, which is why this is the Star Trek podcast and not the Willy Wonka podcast. Ambassador, we've done a big preamble, which you can find in the podcast feed, the episode before this one, where we did a catch-up about our hiatus and what we've been up to and kind of what's happening next. So go and listen to that if you want to know why we've been missing for a little while. But we are going to dive straight in to Strange New Worlds Season 3. Ambassador, would you like a recap?
Oh my gosh.
Because we left on a cliffhanger. Well, actually, this is a great place to start. Do you remember a single thing about Season 2, Episode 10, Hegemony, the cliffhanger that we left on, I think, 18 months ago?
Okay. For
the listener, there was a 10-minute pause that I've edited out.
Does it have something to do with number 2 being taken away?
No, that was that was the cliffhanger to Season 1. That's already been resolved.
Cool. Okay. Hold on a second.
Amazing.
Okay.
Somebody is taken away, though.
Somebody is taken away.
Some people are taken away.
Some people are taken away.
I love that you remembered the finale to Season 1.
So there's like logical part of my brain that's going like, well, which ones would they take away? You know, like which characters would they remove that we quote unquote care about or whatever. Instantly, it's Gorn Girl.
La'an. Gone Girl Gone.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I was just thinking.
Gone Baby Gone. That's so perfect. Yeah, Gone Baby Gone is gone.
Is she?
Yep, she got kidnapped.
Kidnapped.
Do you?
Ooh, okay.
Gorn-napped. Yeah.
Gorn-napped?
Yeah.
There was a Gorn napping?
Yeah, the Gorn Hegemony.
Oh, remember the blue guy that died?
Again, yeah, you mean the blue guy that we guessed we had on the show that one time?
That was so sad.
Yeah. Our Anar buddy.
Anar?
He's an Anar, yeah, or Enar.
That doesn't sound right.
It's the other side of the planet to Andorians. Enar. I think it's Enar.
Interesting.
Aenar.
Gorn napping. I remember the really scary episode.
Yeah.
I think that was also Season 1.
No, that was Season 2. That was like an alien-inspired episode. We really felt like it was an alien movie in Star Trek. And that was a Gorn-heavy episode.
Okay, this is coming to me now.
Mm-hmm.
There was a space battle. And our guys are on one ship. bad guys are out in space. There was communication that had to be had, and Gorn Girl was like translating.
That's from season 1.
Shit. Oh my God. It's been a long year.
It's been a while. I rewatched this episode yesterday, and as it was happening, I remembered some of it, but some of it was brand new to me.
What were we doing?
Not watching the fucking episode, apparently.
I'm so sorry, Captain's Pod. Like for those of you who have been listening to our catch up, it's so fresh. For us, it's so long ago.
Yeah.
Like, do you know how much has happened in my life in 18 months?
An insane amount. I've moved continents in that time. Okay, do you want the recap?
I don't think so. And here's why. I kind of love that I continue to defy logic and just jump into stuff without any reference point.
None at all.
Yeah. So I feel like watching this today is going to be fun because I'm going to have major holes to fill. Yeah. And for anybody who has jumped into Strange New Worlds right now and didn't watch anything, I'm here with you, even though I technically have watched all of Strange New Worlds so far.
For the other 99% of the listeners, can I do the recap for them, or do you not want me to do one at all? Like, you leave the room and I do a recap for them, or are we just going to dive straight in? And I'll fill in the gaps along the way.
So you mean just like go to the corner and plug my ears?
Yeah, no, if you could go outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me know when I can come back.
Okay, for anybody who does want to recap, last we left Strange New Worlds, the crew of the Enterprise came to the rescue of Pike's love interest, Captain Patel, as her ship, the Cayuga, and crew were attacked by the Gorn during a mission to establish a colony on Parnassus Beta. The Gorn claim that this star system crosses into their territory and demand that the Federation leaves, hence their attack. Pike is commanded by Admiral April to not cross into Gorn space under any circumstances, and of course he says, fuck that, I'm going. Pike, La'an and Ortega and Mbenga take a shuttle to the planet to look for survivors. In the meantime, Spock is sent to the ruined saucer section of the Cayuga in an attempt to deorbit it and crash it into a Gorn beacon that is on Parnassus Beta and is preventing communication and transportation to and from the planet. Pike and the away team stumble upon a certain Montgomery Scott, because we can't help ourselves, who crashed on the planet while doing some sun scanning stuff. With his help, they find the survivors of the colony and, of course, Captain Patel, who has received a love bite from a Gorn and is about to be filled with Gorn babies. While on the Cayuga, Spock discovers the sole survivor, which just happens to be Nurse Chapel, which feels weird, who was on the ship to get the fuck away from Spock in the first place. They kill a Gorn and successfully crash the Cayuga into the beacon, allowing Pike, Patel, and Scotty to be beamed aboard the ship. Sadly, the rest of the away team, Mbenga, La'an, and Ortega, have been scooped up by the Gorn. The Gorn attack the Enterprise and Admiral April demands they retreat while Pike, paralysed by fear, makes loving eye contact with the camera. Okay, the Ambassador has rejoined. Ambassador, yes. I want to take this moment to say, yes, I very much respect your commitment to the bit. And this
what is the bit? This is who I am.
This is what I mean. It's in your blood, and this is going to be thoroughly confusing and thoroughly entertaining, and I'm really excited.
I like that I walked all the way over to the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I perused for some snacks. Check the temperature outside for the dogs because we're under a massive heat advisory today. Mm-hmm. And then just when I was about ready to do something, like, okay, I'm done. Such a bad.
Sorry. Deliberately to inconvenience you.
I am excited too. I'm excited for a lot of reasons. I really love this show and I really think that Spock is hot. Mm-hmm. And I'm curious how they're going to continue to link it to the content. I remember you watching this series and being so excited about references, but they were really smart references and it wasn't quite so fast paced like Lower Decks. It was more like, I don't know, deeply intentional stuff. Yes. And not that Lower Decks wasn't deep, but that was obviously more of a comedy. So I'm really curious. And like you said during our episode on Saturday, we know that the show is coming to an end. So this is the second to last season. Yeah. So we're going to be seeing action and interest, and then we're going to be wrapping up next season. So I'm kind of curious what they're going to, what are they swinging for before they know for sure that it's over?
Yeah, they definitely didn't know. If they knew the end was coming, it would have been a complete guess or assumption that they were getting 5 seasons. So I don't think they would have written any of season 3 really with that in mind. It would have just been
it's just episodic
let's
shows.
Just make
we're
episodes.
just doing some stuff. Yeah. But yeah, and I'm curious where they're gonna land too. Like, how are they gonna show us this Spock merging into our old Spock?
Because we know that he does change, because when they do that flash forward episode, Spock is deliberately different. He is less emotional, and Pike addresses that, and Spock's like, yeah, I've changed quite a bit since you knew me, sir. So there will be a transition where everything becomes a bit more TOS, and I 99.99% certain they'll hand over to Kirk, and Kirk will be in charge and Pike will leave in the last episode of season 5. Yeah. Back to this season, though, because streaming services love to do this to us, we will be covering episodes 1 and 2 of season 3 in this podcast. So we'll do a 10 forward section for both. We'll do them in order, obviously. So before we dive in and watch those episodes, episode 2, Ambassador, is called...
What's episode 1 called?
Hegemony Part 2.
Oh, Part 2. Okay.
Not going to help at all.
Right, of course not.
No predictions needed for that. I am so hesitant here. The episode title for episode 2 is Wedding Bell Blues.
Somebody's getting married.
As one would expect. Yeah.
But who is it?
Who's getting married?
I'm just remembering that we watched TOS, and it was the episode where like Spock was going to be marrying to Pring.
Mm-hmm. Yes, correct.
And that was the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
A mock time.
Yes. And they didn't actually get married.
They did not.
Because,
because she had the other guy.
She hesitated and then he almost died because of it. I guess mad respect for T'Pring.
Mad respect to Pring.
So Wedding Bell Blues, if it's... Okay. It could be more of a wink and nod to them scooting T'Pring out of the storyline for a while so that they can really ramp up the sexual tension between him and Church.
Chapel, but yes.
Yeah. Chapel. Oh, God.
I mean, you can't ramp it up. That was close enough. Close enough.
I'm so sorry.
It's going to be Spock and Chapel. My backup prediction is that it's actually going to be Pike and his love interest, Batel.
I feel like I don't know. Well, we're going to find out today, but I didn't feel like the Chapel thing was too forced, at least upon reflection. Maybe I said that during the episodes, but now after all of this time, I really don't feel like they crammed that down our throat at any point. It just felt like it was a bit of tension, kind of like when two people just have something that they're really... so have something in common and they want to hang out, but it would be awkward because rumors are going to fly. And, it's just a little bit like there's like that tension that's there, but she was really holding a lot back.
You should rewatch season 2.
I don't remember any of season 2 at all, apparently.
Apparently not.
Was that the season with the magical episode?
No, the Elysian Kingdom? No, that was season 1. Season 2 had Subspace Rhapsody where they're all singing.
Was I?
You were here for
on
it.
The show?
You were on the show
For season 2? Are you sure?
I'm 90% sure you were.
Good Lord.
They had the Lower Decks crossover and Subspace and Riker and the singing episode. Yeah. And time and tomorrow where La'an goes back in time and has the opportunity to kill Khan as a baby.
And
she falls in love with Kirk. Yes. Mm-hmm. That's what I remember from season 2. We are terrible podcasters, truly terrible.
I don't know why you're here, but we're glad.
We love that you're here. We really, really do.
What a great episode to potentially have some new listeners from like podcasts where we're doing like collaborations with.
Yes.
Where we're like opening the door to talk about how much Star Trek we talk about, and it's just an absolute shit show right away.
Immediate shit show. Yeah.
I love it.
It's great. I love it so much.
I think it'll all come back. It'll all come back.
100%.
There's a couple of things I know I'm going to love. The aesthetic of the show is so fun.
Stunning.
I really love the sets so much. I think about the characters a lot, apparently only from season 1 and a couple of moments from season 2. So I'm excited to see them again. And I honestly love that we get to see more because you never know what's going to continue to be produced. So here we are going into season 3, ending on season 4. And
ending on season 5.
No.
So we've got 2.5 seasons left.
So here we are going into season 3. We've got 2 more seasons after that.
Well, a season and a half because season 5 is going to be like 6 episodes.
And I'm so excited.
Me too. No, I genuinely am. I am giddy to get back into Strange New Worlds. I love this show. I did rewatch episode 10 of the last season, and I loved it. I wasn't hot on it first time round, but I loved it this time round because
you've been missing it, haven't you?
Because I've been missing it so much, and this is my kind of Star Trek. I really do love it.
Nothing like a little bit of desperation to make you like something.
It kind of is. Like when you're starving, it's like, wow, that guacamole tastes great.
Have I ever told you about why I started to eat vegetables?
No.
It's because I moved out of my mom and dad's house and I got fucking hungry.
It's great.
I was starving and I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to try whatever is made by anybody because I'm hungry. And then I realized vegetables aren't so bad.
It's not so bad after all. Yeah. Necessity, the mother of all cravings. Yeah, that's it. Well, the rest of the episode, we'll head into 10 forward. We'll take Hegemony Part 2 first, and then we'll do a review of Wedding Bell Blues. And we are shifting what you may know as Resistance as Futile into more of a listener-submitted sin and email section proper. So that's what the end of the episode will look like.
Yeah, a little bit of a shift in how we record our episodes, which has happened in the past, and we're excited for a little fresh look.
Yeah, a little bit of a refresh. Before we kick all of that off, let's have some just overall predictions for the entire season, Ambassador.
Just season 3.
Just season 3.
5, not 6 and a half or whatever it is.
Yep.
Okay, Spock's going to be in it.
Good. Great start.
Just like your face when I said that.
Because you were so excited. Like prediction time, yay!
Okay, hold on, let me get to my prediction head.
Prediction head.
A shuttle will explode.
I mean, that's just as likely as Spock being in the show.
What? Really?
You've seen enough Star Trek to know the shuttles don't make it.
It's not a given. I mean, it's a given that Spock's going to be in it, but it's not a given that a shuttle is going to explode.
Okay.
I mean, do you mean be really specific and tell you why it explodes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, jeez. Okay, some kind of a debris problem.
Some kind of so there's a pre-explosion that creates debris that creates the actual explosion.
Well, is like a meteor considered space debris, or is that
that's vague
just
enough.
something that's out there?
Space shit.
Space shit.
Space shit happens. Shuttle explodes. Every synopsis ever.
It's just shutting it down. What else? Oh, I think there's going to be a potty humor joke.
A potty humor joke. It's amazing. Okay, I'm writing these down.
You should be.
Well, I'll write it down when I edit.
Mr. has to keep track of all of this for the end of the season.
People get mad if I don't.
New species.
Okay.
Yeah, something we haven't seen before.
Love that. I hope so.
Very gilly. Just
a very gilly species.
Something there's gills.
Nice.
I'm feeling like green, maybe.
This will be incredible if there's a very gilly green species that turns up. We'll lose it.
Okay, I'm also seeing like blue twinkly lights.
Blue twinkly lights, okay.
Yeah. Kind of remind me of an anglerfish sort of vibe, but not like, I don't know if it's the light individually, but it felt very like light twinkle.
Okay.
Which I don't think that we should count all stars as that, because that seems like a given.
Yeah.
But it seemed like a very interesting thing.
Okay, noted.
Mm-hmm. Someone's going to wear a dress.
Okay.
Yeah. And
color?
Very light color. Like either like a really light lavender or like a really light blue.
Okay.
It could just be white and the lighting is a little off. I can't really tell.
Okay.
And something about a clam.
And yep, that checks out. Amazing. I love that. Well, we will include all of those predictions in the show notes, and we will refer back to them as the season progresses. I guarantee all of them will happen.
If you want to do a season prediction, you do need to get that in like before pretty quickly. Yeah, like let us know if you've got a season prediction.
Yeah.
And only you know if you've already watched episode 1 and 2, you cheater.
My predictions are we will have 5 cameos from characters known in the Star Trek canon that we haven't seen on screen yet. 5?
Because you're counting how many haven't shown up?
No, there's more than 5 that haven't shown up, but it'll be 5, and it won't just be a species, it'll be characters, like named characters specifically, that we're like, I know that name from TNG, from something. Yeah.
I was about to ask you why 5, and I'm the girl that said clam. So I don't...
Fair. That's fair.
I don't know why I'm asking you to get specific.
We're going to have a Klingon-centered episode. completely Klingons, like all Klingons, all episode.
Oh, I'm so excited for that because they would be the enemy, right? Because this is
At this point,
before.
very much.
Because it was TNG that introduced them more as a.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, very much the enemy. And we're going to have a...
Baklava!
We're going to have a baklava, yeah. The most Klingon-sounding dessert, isn't it?
It is.
It's amazing. We're going to have a drastic haircut from one of the characters.
Does that include decapitation?
Yes.
Okay.
And we're going to have a time travel episode that I fall in love with.
But that's not fair because you always love time travel.
I did not like the time travel episode from last season.
Oh, okay.
Really didn't like that one.
Okay.
Okay, that's our predictions. I am super excited for this season and to get back into Strange New Worlds.
Shall we strut to the turbo lift?
Let's do it. 2 to beam out.
Wait, I wanted to strut.
Welcome to 10 Forward, the part of the show where we grab something from the replicator from our three-armed bartender and share our immediate thoughts and feelings on the episode we just watched together. Most important question first. What is your thing of choice? Don't you dare say a Guinness, that's mine.
Saurian brandy.
God damn, I don't want to do this show anymore. Try it again.
There's a brandy.
Try it again.
And it has some, it's Sori. It's a Canadian drink called Sori brandy.
Sorry?
Sorry. Yeah, that's what I said.
Saurian brandy.
That's what I said, Saurian.
No, you said sorry, Ian.
So Sorean is what I wrote in my notes.
Saurian.
Yeah.
It was green. Ambassador, give us a synopsis.
Fuck you.
No.
Oh my God. So we're going to go over episode 1 first individually, and then we're going to go into episodes 2. So
yes.
Okay, let me
Plot synopsis for Hegemony Part 2, of which you do not remember anything other than anything from Part 1. I've never seen you more excited to see a previously on as I did this time.
Okay.
Hit it.
So it turns out that there's like a belt of homogeny that's some kind of a border. And anyway, there's these bad guys. They're called Gorn. I don't know if you know about them. And they're sort of like lizard cicadas. And in episode 1 of today's show, but episode 2 of a two-parter that's actually episode 1 of a new season that's 18 months later from the other one, we find out that they can be turned off and on by the power of 2 suns combined, like a Captain Planet of space.
Oh, let's go more on Captain Planet later.
Oh my God, this hurts really bad.
Put a pin in that right now.
So the away team that were potentially disposable characters, and then they did some character testing and decided they wouldn't kill them all. They were all beamed off off of the ship. We know Kirk's got to come back, but pretty much everybody else could die. Am I wrong about that? No.
No, not really. You've been wrong about more.
It turns out that they're in a massive digestive chamber that also doesn't digest weapons, and they're able to get out and find some codes and get back to the ship. That's that storyline. But wait, there's more. Pike's love interest is going to be saved by goat milk, and I can't remember anything else. I can't remember anything else.
Yeah. Lots of conclusions. That was really good. Yeah. I'm throwing up some images at the minute, and one of them was Pike, one of them's a Gorn. Both of them giving you some side eye.
Yes.
But yeah, that's largely it. It was a conclusion to. So did it ring any bells for how? To be fair, it was 2 years ago. I didn't realize it was that long.
I thought it was 18 months.
Well, somebody in the chat just popped up and said it was August 2023.
Wow.
So it's nudging 2 years, which is pretty wild.
So much life has happened in the last 2 years.
Much life has happened.
I had no brain space for it. But yeah, I feel like the really succinct version is that in this episode, we figure out how to basically make the Gorn somebody else's problem. We get to see Pike in a battleship kind of command station. We get to really see what he looks like when he's under incredible stress. And it's a lot of problem solving. There's something going on over here. Oh no, there's something going on over here. So there's constantly a lot of conversations about how to make everything work together. And all of that talk does not let you think about how none of that should have worked in our non-Starfleet brains.
This has a huge huge amount of Trek convenient techno babble and get us out of trouble babble. But overall thoughts and feelings, Ambassador. Did you like it as an episode, regardless of how much you did or did not remember the episode that came before it?
Yes. Yeah. For me, there was a lot of things that really annoyed me, but I had a really good time. It was really interesting sets, and it reminded me about the characters. So I guess if you're coming back after two years, you get to be reminded about certain characteristic traits that you might not see on a normal everyday, ship experience. So is La'an a dancer or a fighter, or is she both? And in the first couple of episodes of this season, you're kind of reminded about that, but you start off firmly that she is a security officer, and a badass. So yeah. What about you? Did you think it was a good start back?
Oh, I loved it.
Okay.
I loved the gaunt hits off of this. I rewatched episode 10 last week ahead of this episode because I thought one of us should. And I loved it more than I remembered. I remembered pooping on it a bit last when we actually covered it and being a bit frustrated that we were ending on a cliffhanger. The Gorn stuff doesn't really work for me, but I kind of deliberately, my expectations were gone because I wasn't watching it with this super high energy of, it's a season finale. And the season finale of season 1 was the one where he time travels and inhabits an episode of the original series. And that was it was my favorite episode of the season and possibly my favorite of both seasons so far. So without that level of expectation, it was a really solid episode with a cliffhanger that actually kind of worked for me this time round. And maybe that's because I knew I was just a couple of days away from the next episode coming round. So maybe that changed my perception. But regardless of that, this episode, I really, really enjoyed it. I thought the pacing was incredible. It felt like the episode lasted 10 minutes, not close to 50. It clipped along really, really, really well. Some of the most stunning visuals that we've seen in the show, and I feel like I say that every episode with Strange New Worlds because it's just such a beautiful show. And it had the hallmarks of everything I love about the TNG era of Star Trek resolving problems. Obviously, this had way more space battles and action, but the differential diagnosis of how to solve an issue, how to put the Gorn to sleep, how to track their people, the sci-fi nonsense around the Enterprise to get them out of trouble. It wasn't blow them up and use firepower. This was, let's use some bizarre science to get us out of trouble. So it had really everything that I want from this type of Star Trek episode, which is a action sci-fi two-parter conclusion. So I think it really, really stuck the landing. Even if it did borrow from TNG quite a lot, but we'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah, but if it works, it works. I agree with you. It also had some really fun space battles, and thinking about how much it did in the 40 some minutes that we were watching it, the moment when the Enterprise is going to ram into the ship, that kind of a thing, it just looked really visually interesting. And we watched today on the smallest screen I've watched TV on in the last 15 years. So
the TV we're watching it on isn't 30 tiny.
And 35
it's
and it's
really
tiny.
Not.
That is the smallest TV that I have watched. That is almost the same size as a computer monitor.
I'm going to measure it. It's not. It's bigger. I'm worried that someone is messing with your perception of reality because it's not that bad.
Anyhow, I think it would have looked even better on a larger screen. And I always think on the old, again, we're watching on an older TV today. So that was also, I can kind of tell when there's more CGI on the older TVs. It's almost like they just don't show the same level of detail. And so something stood out a little bit more, but I really enjoyed it. We're really going into the Gorn world without going to the Gorn homeworld. I wondered if we were going to do that, but we didn't. And that's totally fine. I think it would have been taking us too far. If it was going to be a season where it was a seasonal arc instead of an episodic kind of vibe, we would have gone to the Gorn homeworld,
Oh yeah, I think so.
But it was a really cool idea, really beautiful visuals, a really interesting camera work. When the radiation's kicking off, we're sort of zoomed in close to the face, and sort of phasing in and out a little bit.
Yeah, all of those, like when they really hit the radiation belt and they're between the two stars and they're doing Scotty's plan, that choice for like the close-up angles and the distortion, I loved it, and it felt very original series for me, like something they would do with like a limited budget. It's like, what can we do? Close-ups and lens flare. Deal. Let's go. 1966. This is what we can manage. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, but they did good with like audio as well. And it was just like joining a crew right in the middle of chaos to start off your season.
Yeah.
Can be really intense after a 2-year hiatus, but I really enjoyed it. I immediately was just vibing with the characters. And then, spoiler alert for the episode 2, we're kind of gathering some new crew as well. So there's a really interesting kind of vibe going on. You can feel that they recorded, 1 and 2 at the same time. And so they still have that same kind of like congealed feeling. It doesn't feel like they filmed it way later.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like they did Hegemony Part 2 at the same time as Part 1.
Yeah.
And then tanked it onto season 3. It definitely feels like it was all together, which I prefer that way round.
Whether they did or not, I'm not sure. We just finished watching the episode and didn't do any research to figure that part out. Let's say that they did take a break. It's so well done in its seamlessness. And if they didn't, it's just like, yeah, this is our people. And I was really upset when I thought for a split sec that they might be killing off Ortega, but
honestly, I thought they might, because we know she's not a character that appears in the original series. So it was like, this could be the time to exit Ortegas, but it still worked. Like, it's the one character I did feel that for, because I know that Mbenga's going to be fine. Yeah. I know that Kirk is going to be fine, his cousin.
Yeah.
The only one that might also go was La'an was a possible. But that would have felt really shitty. To have her story end being killed by the Gorn would have been way too wrong. So Ortegas was really the only one that felt at risk, and they played with that beautifully. Like, her bleeding over the controls as she flew away was a lot. And like, it's not often you see people lose digits on Star Trek, considering they're in the future and you can heal that pretty easily. Like, that was really shocking at the beginning of the episode when she wakes up from the pod and she's like, where is half my hand?
Yeah,
I was like, did I just see that in an episode of Star Trek? Yikes.
There was some serious like gore-esque going on. Strange New Worlds does not back away from showing uncomfortable things. There was that person that was upside down in one of the digestive pods that sort of had half of their face melted. That was uncomfortable. But can we talk about like the healing abilities of the future? Because one thing that I am wrong about, I realize now after talking with you and listening to the Discord. Thank you guys for pointing this out. Apparently Pike doesn't die in the future. He's just maimed and a horrible, like, still alive, but can't do so much because he's beyond repair. And I thought that in the future we got that shit on lockdown. So can you explain that to me? How can somebody fucking have Gorn needing to be milked inside their body to stay alive, and then Pike has to do, like, what the fuck?
So
I thought he died. I really thought he died.
And that's because I haven't done a great job of correcting you when we've talked about his future. Like, the ominousness of his future, it really feels like he is going to die. But he just knows that he has a life-altering thing that happens to him. And it is important to make that distinction, because I also don't want to give the impression that being confined to like a vehicle that assists you to move around, I don't want to make the impression that is worse than death or better than death or anything in that region. It's just... It's different. So that wasn't the intent, obviously.
I appreciate that. Like, and I think it's important too. Like, but how is that not something that can be medically?
So the internal reason for it is that I think it's delta radiation. The radiation that Pike is exposed to is fucking bad. It is really seriously nasty stuff. And they do not have a way to undo the neurological nervous system damage that is done to it. So, and also this is medicine of the 2200s, not TNG, which is 100 years later. So by TNG standards, maybe they would have had a fix for it. But even at that point, they haven't cured 100% of everything. Discovery, when you get to the year 3000, the nanoparticle stuff is like, who the fuck
Figured
cares?
out.
But in Kirk's period, yeah, and they kind of acknowledge that as well, which is why they specify in the episode where they go into it a lot more that it's this specific radiation. Nothing in our medical textbooks can repair this. He's stuck in a chair. He can only talk by beeps and boops, and that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
So when Josh says communicating by 1 beep for yes, 2 beeps for no, that's
literally
legit.
Not taking the piss. That is, he has 2 lights.
Man.
He has 1 light or something. There are 4 lights. And then he goes 1 beep for 1, 2 beeps for 2, because he has to go on trial for a thing.
Oh, he does something nefarious.
He and Spock do something nefarious in the original series. It's a fucking once. This is what we're gonna do. As soon as Strange New Worlds finishes, when season 5 finishes, we're gonna do the cage, which is the pilot,
Okay.
and then the menagerie, which is the next time Pike appears, and that will conclude Pike and Spock, everything. Yeah.
I don't know that I wanna.
You're gonna. Sorry.
I don't know that I wanna, because something that's brutal, and I think maybe you understood this more than I could ever at the time, is that Strange New Worlds is letting you fall in love with a character that doesn't end well, and that's just cruel.
That's good storytelling.
I don't like it.
Okay, back into this episode.
Okay.
There's a bit of retconning that happens.
Ortega gets her finger back. Why can't he have a lung?
It wasn't. I mean, if Delta Radiation had taken her finger, then she wouldn't have it back. This was a Gorn bit it off.
I don't understand Delta Radiation.
If a Gorn had done it to Pike, then maybe he could have been cured.
Okay.
This is a Gorn spitting out Delta Radiation. And if it's not Delta Radiation, I'm going to get so many fucking emails because I've said it like 10 times.
Delta Radiation.
Apologies if it's not Delta Radiation.
Delta Radiation.
Also, quick apologies. Pike was not on trial. Spock was on trial doing something for Pike. Blah. We'll get to it later, people. Back to this episode.
Yeah, how do you want to go about this? Because there's like kind of multiple like sort of scenes that are happening. There's the bridge, there's the room where they're kind of like talking about strategy, there's the medical bay, and then there's like the Gorn sort of area. And they go back and forth between each of these sections pretty quickly. So do you want to go like just like one sort of section at a time and work our way through it?
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm happy with that. So the Enterprise gets out of trouble by doing a literal hit it. So this is the first time that he gets to say hit it and actually hit something with the ship.
Oh, I loved that.
I love that so much.
That was delightful.
Absolutely delightful.
He's so casual too. He's like, let's hit it.
He's
just like, well, this is what we're doing.
He knows, like, we're literally going to do it this time.
I love that about Pike. He has this casualness to like the crazy that's going on, but they also really let him show the stress of a situation. Like he has such an interesting leadership sort of vibe. I think
very human and like very, I'm going to let them see me exasperated, at my wit's end, out of ideas, whereas Picard was poker face. Like the reason Picard isn't invited to the poker games is because he has too good a poker face. Whereas Pike would be terrible at poker. He just wears it all on his sleeve.
What was the name of was it Picard that we were watching, and they had that new kind of the new captain that came in, and he was really by the books and super serious.
Sure.
What was his name? Shaw.
Sure, Captain Shaw.
Pike gives me a little bit of Shaw in some of these scenes where he's got like just
done with your shit.
Yeah, a little bit. But we see so much range of motion from Pike with his love interest to having to choose between the Federation and the love interest. So like the faces, the emoting that he's doing while we're in the battleship sort of scenes is great. And then they do the fast paced sort of back and forth trying to like come up with solutions thing really, really well. I thought they did a really good job of kind of balancing between what about this? Okay, then we get to the whole we're gonna torpedo them and it's gonna be a dud, but actually it's a tracking device, and so it's all very fast paced.
I love that bridge banter. I love Una coming. What I love is Pike not coming up with the answers. That's what I love about TNG. It's what I love about Voyager. It's what I love about Deep Space Nine. It is the people around you, the team that you've built, that collection of ideas is what saves the day, and then the captain committing to that course. And Pike picks out Una's idea. That's the one that's going to work. Let's go. And then torpedo nonsense to do some tracking so that we can retreat and do this properly. And we get to see April return. Admiral April. I love him so much. That's the admiral that's giving Pike a dressing down for not coming soon enough.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and explaining that the Gorn are in their space, they're expanding, but we cannot engage with them. We cannot have a war right now. We've just done shit with the Klingons. You need to be very careful if you're going to do this unsanctioned rescue mission.
Yes, he says, like, on the books, off the books, essentially.
Yeah, the standard thing. You can. This is the agency will disavow all knowledge if you're caught. It's the Mission Impossible. Everyone's got to go rogue.
It was
situation.
Officially, unofficially.
Yeah.
Officially, he has to monitor the demarcation of the line.
Yes.
And then unofficially, he has to find a way to punch back.
Yeah, exactly. We found a way to punch back.
Also, before we get too much deeper into like the different sections, and we're kind of in the bridge section right now, we also need to talk about Scotty at some point,
we absolutely
too, he's in
do.
there.
He'll be all in with the bridge stuff, I think. The beauty of this, well, what did you pick up from, it's not a trick question either, what did you pick up from the Pelia-Scotty interaction? Because they were very deliberately paired together.
Yeah, I thought it was really, really well done, because what little TNG I've watched and what little memeing I have of the Scotty character is that, you know, Scotty was always able to make it happen, even though it was impossible.
Mm-hmm.
And this gives you a bit of that sort of backstory as to how deeply ingrained it is in this genius, that if Scotty has time, he almost intrinsically makes excuses.
He procrastinates.
Yeah, or just questions himself too much. Like, and she is essentially saying, you need to learn to write this down. This is why you have to do your logs, so that you remember how to create the genius things that you did whenever you were in your frantic phase.
Yes.
And she is a great teacher to him in that moment. I think this really validates her character for me, which sort of a bit seemed kind of, I don't know, a little confusing and a little bit like they kind of dropped her in, if I remember, as she needed to be doing some lore. She needed to give them some information, and then she kind of stuck around, and it felt a little floaty. But here she fulfills that role of once being a teacher in Starfleet. And then, is that right? Starfleet?
Yeah, correct.
Starfleet school? The school for the Starfleetians?
She was a teacher at the academy.
Mm-hmm. And then fulfilling that mentor role, but then almost validating that she's a good teacher because she sees what her student needs in the moment.
Exactly.
Like that scene when she comes running in and is just like, we're all gonna die. I loved that so much, because then all of a sudden he's like, beep, bop, boop, boop,
snap
boop,
to
boop,
it, done. And it's like, it's so, oh man, I like it. I love it so much because it's the origin story I didn't know I wanted. It was like, Scotty's great at stuff. I didn't necessarily need to know how he got there. But this behavioral thing is such a clever way to develop that for me. And Pelia, who we know is an ancient being and has this history with Scotty that I completely buy, and this mentor thing, and just like nailing down, like, you need the time pressure. And like Pike says, like, how long is this thing going to take? And Pelia's like, how long do you need? And we'll get it done in that time.
Yes.
And that's like a merger of like what Scotty eventually does, which is, I'll get it done in this time.
Yeah.
However, I know you need it sooner, so I'll get it done. So it's like, I didn't even know I wanted an origin for that. And it's beautiful.
Yeah. It also makes his genius seem a bit more realistic as well. I mean, it is far-fetched sci-fi when they bring them, pair of them back to the bridge to discuss how they're going to initiate the Gorn sleep cycle.
I loved that.
What did you love about it?
Because Pike, this is the genius, and I'm not trying to like man credit, like give Pike all of the credit for everyone else's work, but Pike calls Pelia to the bridge and Scotty comes with her, and then they get to the science console. He lays out the problem, takes a big step back, and's like, I'm going to let the puzzle pieces put themselves together because I'm not needed here. I've given you the problem. I know you have mentally the tools to put this together. And he just sits back, and it's great directing as well, because he just smiles as they talk to each other, come up with the same plan. And he's like, my job is to choose whether we should go with the 1 to 1,000 odds. And he's like, I like those odds. I've had worse today. Let's go for it. But he's so proud that they're just going to figure it out. He doesn't need to understand the science. He trusts them. And oh man, it's such a well-directed scene and well acted.
Yeah, I liked that as well. Especially when he's like, and then if it goes wrong, we'll just... And I don't think he said unplug it.
We'll just switch it off. We'll just switch it off before we explode.
And everyone sort of,
It's great, yeah.
The intensity of the battleship scenes on the bridge with the camera work and the echoing things, they really amped up the intensity. I think that might be part of why this episode clips by a little bit faster, is that those scenes work really, really well, but then they also are just pacing back onto the next thing.
Yeah.
This episode goes back and forth between a lot of scenes, but before we leave kind of like the bridge area, also at one moment, and I thought this was a very smart thing, was to have Spock kind of tell his buddy, I don't know a lot about medical stuff, but I can go let my brain over here. And Pike doesn't even say anything. He just sort of like gives the slightest nod, and they just understand that about each other. And Spock knows that this is what Pike needs.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, watching Spock with Kirk is interesting, but this sort of like...
You mean with Pike?
No.
Or with Kirk when we do TOS?
Yeah, when we do TOS, it's interesting because I'm like, I know that they're really good friends and stuff, but to see that this is a familiar way that Spock serves people is to be a really good person. And then, of course, we see another example of that in episode 2. But the intensity of like all of it, Spock excuses himself from being on the bridge, but they're still able to accomplish things. We have the person that's at the helm who decides that she's not going to go to sleep. She's going to stay at it. And, Pike is just like, cool.
Also, just going to dive straight in. Bad captaining, Pike. Bad captaining.
So bad.
That's not good. So just to quote a famous commander in Star Trek, I don't want my crew to be battling the Borg at the same time that they're battling their own fatigue.
Right.
Get her off the bridge, Captain.
Take a fucking nap.
Don't just like be a workaholic hero. She's falling asleep at the con.
I did send that in my brain, and then I'm like, well, at least offer her cocaine or something.
I was going to say, offer her a hyper spray of cocaine. That's all you need. Straight away. Just buzzing.
Is there anything else that happens on the bridge that we wanted to talk about?
I mean, honestly, we jump straight to the finale stuff, which is, again, they've decided to go with the crazy plan. And there's this choice here that I really, really love. And they're heading towards, they found the technobabble stuff. The Gorn ships are disappearing into this mirror zone that is obscured.
Do you think it's
by
mirror zone?
Well, I'm just being silly.
Okay.
It's obscured by the sun's reflecting light. So anything between the suns is invisible because it's refracting the light because of gravity and shit. So that's why the Gorn ship disappears. So they head in there. Was that not right?
Oh, I don't know.
Looks like I broke your brain.
In my imagination, other things were happening, and so I'm merging your information, and it's fine. Keep going.
But the Enterprise arrives, and at the point where they get past the vanishing point of gravity, and they see all of the Gorn ships coming out, and just, oh, fuck, there is an armada. They're heading towards Federation space. Shit. And I love that there isn't even there's maybe 1 second of hesitation before Pike is like, yeah, no, we're going to leave them. Like, we have a terrible idea, which is leave a beacon behind, which isn't going to survive, and we aren't going to be able to use it. But there is no, fuck it, we're going to rescue our people at the expense of Starfleet and the Federation. They about turn and follow the Armada out, which I just love that, because that is what you should do. Yes, it sucks. Yes, it may be a bit boring, but that is absolutely what you should do in that situation.
You're 100% right. I loved that part too, and it was really hard to watch. But that is absolutely what the captain should do. If Deanna can kill Geordi,
on the holodeck.
On the holodeck. But that's what that test is about, is it's making impossible decisions.
That is the commander test. Yeah, the no-win scenario. That's exactly what it is.
And so it's nice to see that play out. And that actually happens again with the Gorn stuff, which maybe that'd be a good transition to the Gorn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because La'an does that too. There's a moment when they're all talking about leaving essentially the pod people behind, because they're afraid that it's just kind of an impossible... I almost said it, the Kobayashi Maru.
That's exactly
I almost said
what
that
they're all
but I
facing
doubted
with.
myself.
Yeah,
I shouldn't
no-win
doubt.
scenario. Yeah.
I shouldn't doubt. It's all getting in my brain.
And that is the difference. I have a feeling Kirk would have plowed on.
Yes.
I don't think Kirk would have retreated, and Spock would have been like, I will commandeer this fucking ship and turn it around, and Kirk would have been like, arrest that man. We're going to save 2 people. I
genuinely thought about that. I thought, what would Picard do? What would,
Picard turns around. Sisko probably does the same thing Kirk would do and just goes and rescues everybody. Janeway would have already killed everybody.
Yeah, she would have just been like, nope, we're going to just blow everything up, I think.
If there's no Federation, there's nothing for the Gorn to attack.
But La'an, she represents the correct answer, which is we're going to save as many people as we possibly can. And coming up with the idea that they need to get the transporter codes.
Yeah.
So
La'an was more like, I want to rescue everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. But everyone else seemed to be hesitating, and coming up with these reasons. And when I was writing it down as it was sort of happening on screen, the conversations that were sort of occurring were essentially like, they're already gone anyway, and da-da-da.
Yeah.
Even Ortega, how are we even going to get everybody?
4. Like, what's the point of trying if we can't get more?
And I was thinking, are the writers trying to write an excuse for leaving behind hundreds of people that could be free, and maybe it complicates an escape route, but are we really going to watch them go, yeah, we just didn't want to pay for extras? Like I was gearing up to be really upset. Yeah. And then when La'an's like, no, we're saving everyone, I was like, thank God, that there's that voice in what I think should happen for the show, because I don't know, it just really brings to life the importance of these decisions, and it makes the show a bit more real, even though it's totally sci-fi.
Well, and this is the best use of La'an that I've seen, and this was payoff from season 1. Like, the stuff on the Gorn fuel refinery is so much more impactful because La'an is leading the way. And yeah, it's fine. It's a storyline we've seen before, whatever, dealing with your trauma. But it works really, really well. Like, it works because she is having her flashbacks, but she is, like, using them to fuel her. And it even gets, like, a bit of payoff in the next episode where she's talking about, I've always had this Gorn shadow behind me and now it's kind of gone. She has been ready for this fight specifically for a long, long time. And the Gorn stuff and will they get out, will they escape, mattered so much more to me because of La'an's background with it and having been there before with her brother.
Yeah, I really thought that there was a lot of flashback happening. I didn't think we needed that much, but it doesn't take up too much time. And each time it seems to be doing something different. I realized when I was reflecting on it later. Sometimes it's reflecting on who to rescue first. And she's talking to herself, like, get the doctor out first. So she's kind of bringing herself back to reality. And because she had been in one of those pods before, it's like her body knew how to kick her out of it.
Yes.
It kicked her out of it kicked in the fight of her fight or flight, and she was able to escape. Then she kind of like works herself through the PTSD. She, the fear, all of that kind of coming down on her. And then later on, as it progresses, she remembers that she put her hands on a pod at some point in time, and that ends up giving her all the codes that she needs. Are there parts about that scene the whole time that they're in there that drive me crazy? Yes, this is maybe the most sinful part of the entire show.
She may as well have woken up with the transporter codes in her pocket. Like, it matters that little to me. Like, when she pulls the code out, it looks like binary code, something data buffer logs. I'm like, okay, cool, you found the code. It is utter bullshit.
They talk so much.
So much technobabble. Like, if we talk about it really, really fast, you won't be able to know there's something wrong here.
Well, they just talk so much. Like, Kirk and Ortega have this sort of back and forth banter, but at the point where they get the codes and they're in that kind of room before they get on to the space pod shuttle thing, if they would just walk and talk, their plan is to get the codes and then get to the shuttle, but then they get the codes and they're just sort of chit-chatting, and the whole time I know that it said that we have a Gorn shoot-off sort of a vibe.
Yes.
I do not know how they got out of there alive.
Many. They just suddenly disappeared, really. They didn't kill enough of them. The biggest bullshit for me in that moment, and movies and TV shows do this so much, it's the magical door. So once we're done with fighting the Gorn, they walk into that side where the shuttle is based, into that side room, door closes behind them. Unless I missed it, there's not even a cursory, let's phaser the door shut, or let's program this.
I think she shot at the door to close it.
So that's even worse. She shot the control panel to close the door.
Such a sci-fi thing to do.
It is.
It's
like the Gorn can't get through their own door to get to you.
It was distracting. I thought what was going to be happening was that they were going to shut the Gorn down into sleep mode, and that's what was going to kind of kind of like the Matrix when all the machines sort of turn off, and that's sort of all that saves the day is that they all just come like at the last second.
There's a reason they can't do that.
I thought they were going to cicada rhythm them to sleep. You know,
Circadian love that. There's a very good reason why they can't do that is because it would have been almost identical to The Best of Both Worlds Part 2, which is a TNG episode. So The Best of Both Worlds is the big collision with the Borg. And spoiler alert, because we have to talk about this, the way they deal with the Borg is they put them to sleep. So they trick the Borg into going into hibernation. And that is literally like, that's how they escape the Borg. So I couldn't stop thinking about that. This entire, as soon as they mentioned putting them into hibernation and putting them to sleep, I was like, oh, we're doing a Best of Both Worlds. And it's so much the same. I'm like, is it an homage? Was it like deliberate? But I think if they'd have done that as they were like fighting and all of the Borg go to sleep, it would have been a bit too much on the nose. So I think they just about get away with it. But yeah, it's very Best of Both Worlds. And it's just weird that's like, yeah, I don't know. It's so similar. It's so similar.
Okay. Well, maybe that's why then. But it's still like, that's what I thought it was going to happen because they seem to be quite overwhelmed by the Gorn onrush. And as much as I knew that they were doing important things there, the show was obviously more about having to wrap up how they're going to escape this sort of situation. So for me, episode 1 started to, once we got to like the pod kind of thing, I was like, okay, I'm ready for this to be done. You know, the intensity, the drive. But we do see some really interesting up close fighting with Gorn. And I thought that the sets were really interesting on the Gorn section. Like it
sets
just
are great.
seemed.
And also that flyby into the Gorn set, I really love that. Yes, it's CG to fuck, but you like got Lord of the Rings vibes when we were watching it.
Yes.
When they're going through like Mordor.
Oh yeah, at the very beginning when it's like, and it's like kind of like going down into the mines. It was very Uruk-hai are about to be born. And then there's actually what I thought was birthing pods at first. I did not realize we were in a digestive tract, but we were.
Oh, conveniently.
But that was the part that was hardest to watch because it just seemed like it was convenient thing after convenient thing when they really should have died. They should not, you know.
Well, the entire thing kicks off hyper conveniently because Batel has been infected and is impregnated by like the Borg sack stuff. Borg. Can't help it. Gorn sack stuff. They really are the new Borg. Like they're assimilating basically, but they are extremely lucky that all of those hundreds of colonists and all of the crew weren't used as birthing sacks and were used as fuel, which gives them the opportunity and the wiggle room to escape. Which is like, that's the conceit. You don't have an episode if you don't have that, but it is like, wow, you couldn't have just sacrificed somebody. Just like one person.
If it was needed, you know. I think it all leads to them having a great sacrifice that maybe potentially at one point could have been the end of a character with Ortega.
I bet they were talking about that.
Yeah, and I think they did some studies, which is why my recap kind of included that. I think they did some character studies and they realized Ortega's a favorite and we can't kill her. So then it's like, okay.
Ortega is very loved.
We're going to bring Ortega back.
Very loved.
But it was a really, like you said earlier, a powerful moment when they are leaving and she's driving with all of her might. Like that's what she's born for.
Love it.
And she needed to do it. I hated that the doctor wasn't even attempting to help.
I mean, he was
stop her blood flow. He literally turned into a background character, and that
he was fairly ornamental. Yeah.
The parts of that scene are angering in a way because I feel like there's just something else that could have been done to answer that question, but it felt very rushed to get through this intense sort of
like if Beverly
sequence.
was there, it would have been, I have this hypo spray, it'll stem the blood for whatever, but I think they deliberately didn't do that because I think we would have immediately interpreted that as it's future medicine, Ortegas is going to be fine. If you do nothing with her, I bought more that this is her last-ditch effort to get them home, but I think as soon as Mbenga steps in, it's like, she's going to be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So did he
just miss
sucks.
her being impaled by a Gorn? Or did that just, maybe he was in the middle of a fight?
At the very least, put a hand in there.
Last thing I'll say before I'm ready to move on from this part, unless you have anything else, is that the Gorn fight between La'an, Ortegas, and that Gorn, like up close and personal, I thought it was really cool. Because you get to see the Gorn like really kind of almost pause and look at them a bit. And they're very reptilian nature that I know is so different from the TOS, but
I'm dying. I'm dying. Because one of my like internal headcanon things was, it's okay, we've only seen baby and adolescent Gorn, so when they grow up they look a little bit, I'm not expecting them to look the same as the arena, I'm not dumb, I know it was the 60s, but a little bit more like, so now we're firmly in subspecies, like this is a different variety of Gorn entirely to the Gorn that Kirk fought, and that's fine. It's
you don't
okay.
know that's not their final form.
I mean, maybe whatever. It's fine. It's fine. I'm glad the Gorn are done. To be honest,
Kirk fought an elderly.
I mean, it explains why he won. It really that's they shed all of their skin and they just get very green, very nodular.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they look like Barney the dinosaur.
Let's talk about what happens when you get bit by a Gorn in the medical bay.
Well, before we transition into that, I do agree with you. I did like the tool Gorn and that fight, and the like phaser rifle to the neck was brutal and super metal.
Like La'an got to have her moment.
Yeah, she needed that. What stood out for me was whenever we cut to the Gorn in the cockpit of their ship, that looked terrible to me.
I loved it.
I thought that looked
You didn't like it?
rubbish. That reminded me of like some episodes of Enterprise when they were CGing the Zenkethi and someone else, and it was 2004. They weren't ready for it, or 2003, whatever. But they weren't ready for that level of CGI, and this felt like that for me. That special effect did not work.
I kind of loved it, but anytime you have like starfighter fight off pilot scenario, there's sort of all of these visual, like, you've seen a lot of it before, but I have never seen a lizard go. Do you know what I mean?
You need to watch more Star Trek.
That was really fun. I thought the visuals looked really fun. I thought their little fighters where you're almost leaning over as if you're on like a race bike was really cool
very
too.
Tron, like it gave me Tron vibes.
Yeah, it was really interesting to kind of watch. The shape of the fighter jets were very Krull. I don't know. I was really.
There's a bit of Top Gorn Maverick in there.
There is something.
Hey,
I've said.
Top Gorn.
There is something. I think I've said this many times. So I apologize if this is repetitive, but I have a very special place in my heart for like really silly sci-fi stuff.
Yeah.
Which is why I loved the Gorn fight so much.
It's fine.
Just like watching sci-fi is so special because at some point it can't be about how realistic can we make it. It has to be how much fun can the audience have because they love these characters and they can throw away reason for a second and just have a good time. And I liked that. I liked it. I wasn't 100% understanding how they were being tracked, but I think it was because they were in another Gorn vehicle because we were told that they can't be tracked through normal methods.
Yes.
And the Gorn was able to look out the window and maybe see them, saw the head swiveling back and forth a bit. But then I have more questions about how nobody saw the Enterprise.
Yeah, the don't look out the window bit and the fact that Uhura hung a lantern on it as well is like, okay. Yeah, we know that's a problem. Anyway,
I enjoyed that part. If I had to rank like the different Gorn kind of the Gorny things that were happening in those sections, I think it would be the interface that La'an had to look at. To me, that was very interesting. All the new language and stuff, even though I don't understand how she accessed it. The fighter jet part maybe would be number one, though. Just thinking about that and visually watching someone's blood spill out over their.
Oh, that was great. Really, everything inside Ortegas' shuttle, loved that. Yeah.
It was really powerful. That was cool.
This is why I'm glad you're on the show. This is on the show. This is your show.
Oh, thank you. This
is why I'm glad you're here with me because you have that balance that I so desperately need. As I'm always going to get stuck in a little bit of this isn't what it's supposed to be like. It doesn't look like a right Gorn. So I need your pure joy of the moment, and I love that so much.
It was easy to like it when the rest of the Gorn stuff sucked so bad, to be honest.
That's fair. I think you would have liked the end of episode 10 from the last season because Spock has a big hand-to-hand fight with a Gorn in a spacesuit. And I think you would really enjoy that if you remembered it.
Yeah, no, I do remember that. They were kind of pushing off around the room.
Yes, that's it. Yes.
Yeah, I did remember that. Yeah, that I was starting to have some flashbacks, and I think Was that the last episode? Was that part one?
Yeah, that was the
part of part one?
Yeah, that's it. Spock goes to rescue Chapel.
That's right.
Sends the saucer section down to the planet and fights a Gorn on the bridge.
Yeah, that's somewhat.
Chakuya.
But we're not talking about that episode today.
No, we're not. So that brings us to Batel and Spock and Chapel and Skip.
Whew.
Yeah, medical emergency that isn't so much of an emergency. It's definitely the weakest bit of the episode for me. I think they should have just killed Batel. Honestly, like I don't know. I'm not saying that Pike needs that trauma or it's good for him, but it felt like the most filler part of the episode, especially when the next episode is going to be the one that deals properly with Spock and Chapel.
I look at that moment. It has so much purpose for what the show is attempting to do with Pike's story and with Spock and Chapel.
Tell me more. Tell me.
Something had to happen here in this moment of the show to help the rest of their relationship stuff make sense for both of the different relationships that are kind of on screen. So I don't mind that we had to have it. I like a little bit of medical mystery too. Like, come on, that was some really cool looking creepy shit.
Oh yeah, the prosthetics were great.
Oh my God, when the insides were like bubbling out and her eyes were going back and forth, like there was an intensity to it because we've seen what happens when the Gorn burst out before. So there was a bit of intensity there. I actually liked this stuff. I also really thought it was important for us to be reminded about the professional relationship between Spock and Chapel and this genuine attempt to kind of navigate that they have an appreciation for each other, they have a love for each other, and they're just attempting to navigate what that looks like. And she is asserting that she is leaving and that she does want space, but not from from a people person. And it's hard sometimes to just come out and say what you really need to say. And so I feel like Chapel's a bit Leedionish, but she also might not know how to say the hard things. She's not ready to say them yet.
I feel like she really doesn't know how she feels. And it takes, obviously, Corby in the next episode. Corby?
Yeah.
Corby? Yeah. To really kick that into her brain. Like, she just doesn't know what's wrong.
The worst part for me is being brought up in the chat, which is that there's just better times to have the conversation. There's a couple moments when they start to chitty chat about their feelings and kind of, hey, Spock, I am going to be leaving and it is going to be with this guy. And
not
just
now.
Totally setting it up. The only reason I can maybe forgive it is that there's a scan that's being run, and until they know what that scan says, they really can't make the next step. But they should be really using their brains to figure out how to not have a Gorn burst out of a body. Like, we're looking at facehugger shit right now.
You remember when Spock was on the bridge and said, I will use all of I may not be a doctor, but I'll use all of my brain power to talk to Chapel about our relationship, and then I'm going to help your girlfriend.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, it killed the momentum. I never really bought that Batel was super duper in trouble. And we've also had this where Batel is at risk and Pike doesn't want to lose her. Like, at some point, like, that story for me is spinning its wheels. Like, it hasn't, even after that, there's not a resolution about, I want to be with you, I want us to be together, because neither one is going to give up being a captain. So the I don't want to lose you stuff is like, well, you're still going to be off doing your thing. So I don't know. It doesn't feel like that really progressed at all for me.
The idea that, and I hopefully there's some reason that they have injected literally her character to survive this Gorn attack. What's her name again?
Batel.
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 That was the name of one of my characters once.
Really?
I think it means like Lioness of God or something.
Love it.
I kind of want to look that up, but not right now. Is there something about the mixture of her blood that gives a future a chance to fight against the Gorn? Are they doing something really intentional with this medical mashup, like this haphazard seeming approach to a cure? Because they're doing some things here that I kind of wanted to just stop and think about a little bit more as somebody who likes medical dramas. I would rather do medical drama than technobabble. And so it just seemed like we kind of had some big markers that I understood. Okay, we're putting Illyrian, whatever. blood into somebody to give them a fighting chance, but then that's not working like we want. So now we're going to use her as an incubator and give the baby goat milk to make them satiated so that we can potentially remove them later. And that's where things got like really quick because we never really watched the surgery. It was just, we went from, hey, we thought of this great idea to, and she's out of surgery, you know, and we're like at the end of the episode and I'm thinking, wait a second, what about, I wanted to see you pop that pimple and put a little goat milk bottle in there and have it like suckle on it, you know?
I thought we'd have a little bit more, but I think they purely ran out of time. Like the words were enough and they've done it. Like this isn't going to be the medical drama show. Well,
that's kind of what upset me is that scene was not about what they could set up for the future. That scene was about setting up Chapel and Spock.
And that might well be my problem. That scene isn't about Patel. It's about Chapel and Spock. I think that's why it just slowed me down. But I'm also not a big fan of the Chapel and Spock stuff. I'm very glad about where it is now. But I'm not like that was that was dragging it down a little bit for me. But it wasn't a lot of the episode.
Chad is saying that last season she was the one who prosecuted Una. Is that right? Batel did? Is that right? I do remember that there were some...
She arrested Una. She was sent to arrest her at the end of season 1. I don't know about prosecuting.
Well, that's interesting too, because now she's been forced to have, whatever the situation is, she, without any kind of consent, had to take this. But she did say whatever it takes.
She was definitely on the side. Well, she said whatever it takes to kill me.
Oh, I thought it was whatever it takes to save her.
Oh, to who? Wait, who are we talking about?
I thought Batel told Chapel to do whatever it took. And this was part of it.
Do whatever it takes to kill me. Like, she didn't care about it. She was like, if you can kill me, great. Do what it takes to make sure I don't gaunt everyone to death.
Gotcha.
So that's what she was getting at.
Okay.
But yeah, it is, you're right. It is interesting. And they probably should have not flashed back, but explained it a little bit more that Patel was against Una. Like, and against Pike hiding that secret as well. Like, they did have a to-do about it now that I'm remembering. So she would take offense to having the augmented DNA inside of her for sure.
So and that's sort of skipped over a bit, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, in this episode it is.
In the second episode, there's maybe kind of hinted at that, like, yeah, this is going to be fine now. And I guess we'll get to that here in a moment. But
it matters as long as it doesn't.
Yeah, but they have to have a way to make the Chapel Spock thing come to an end. And this is obviously part of that conversation. So they had to have it in this episode somewhere. I think it happened in the right spot.
Fair enough. So the end of the episode, the Gorn are in hibernation. It's a problem for another day, a problem for future people.
I know. Do you think they're going to do that in like a new series of Star Trek?
No, I think he was referring to it being a problem for Kirk with the Gorn later on in the original. So I think it was a nod to they'll come back later when that alien puts them together.
I was like, ooh, we're going to, in our new episodes of Star Trek, we're going to have another Gorn line.
I mean, maybe. Like, It all depends about how long their hibernation is supposed to be, because they never get specific on that. But do you think they're going to return this season? Do you think that's it for the Gorn? Are you happy that might be it for the Gorn? Because them being, it's really not the only, but it's the big continuous arc that was going through. We're like, can we really be episodic when we're doing this looming Gorn war thing?
I'm ready for it to be done.
Yeah, I'm with you.
There's a beautiful poetry if they do end it right now, which is this haunting image of La'an having finally got rid of her shadow, but now it looms over Ortega's. Like,
yes,
that
exactly.
is an incredible example of there are certain people, there are certain things that happen, war, for example, that you can get to the end of your own personal struggles with it through therapy or whatever life gives you, and then you have an opportunity to kind of have a full circle, and it just finally something is done and the survival mode is over and you're kind of like through with it. But it doesn't mean that it is for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And though it was just a really fast nod in episode 2 for that passing on, I really do hope that's the last of the Gorn. The fact that they brought back the reflection in episode 2 gives me a little bit of pause, like that maybe they can't help themselves.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's more going to be about Ortega's personal journey, and I'm so happy she's getting some depth, because someone in the live chat Actually, it might have been in the Discord as well, said that it was a little bit on the nose that her quote-unquote final words were going to be, I'm Erica Ortegas and I fly the ship. Because that's her entire character. Like, it was a bit on the nose. Like, we haven't given her anything else other than fought some Klingons, flies ship well. So I love that she's getting some more to chew into, and it looks like she will over this season, which is exactly what we've been asking for since season 1.
Yeah. So I hope it's done, because I think you can play those character changes out. Like La'an may have been a different person before the Gorn attack, and then now she's turning into another person because she's working through that struggle. Same for Ortegas. They're like changing her character a little bit and making her a little bit more like she literally is doing what La'an was doing. It's just like she's fucking constantly ready for a fight. Like she will not be taken again, which is what La'an has been doing. So, it's an important thing to remember that Star Trek represents a lot of different things politically and relationally, and also just with what we as people have to struggle with. And I think they did a good job of kind of representing that. It is sad because kind of like the cycle of pain is represented in the first 2 episodes. In this first episode alone, you kind of go, I hope that's the end of the Gorn, but it's not, So I hope seasonally we're done, but I kind of don't think they're going to be able to not stop picking at it, kind of like a scab.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think I'm echoing that completely. There's just a couple of other bits that I wanted to point out that I absolutely loved. There is obviously an update to the intro music, which we had to listen to both times because we can't skip that music.
It's very boppy around. We should record ourselves doing that and release it as extra content.
Absolutely, completely agree.
We're just over here like pum pum, pum pum. That's a lot.
There is a Klingon D7 cruiser. Go on.
Did you mean the music was different or the visuals are different?
Oh no, the music is the same. The visuals were different. There's a Klingon D7 cruiser that jumps, just comes. The Enterprise is like warping away, and it comes out from behind a meteor, and then like, and the D7 cruisers are new at this point in time, so it's all like beautiful. And I was like, that's new. And the shuttle coming out of the back of the ship, and then zooming off and doing its thing. I just love the little updates that they do. Like that intro is such a fun intro. I love it so much. What else did I have? Oh, this was fun. This could be me reading way too much into stuff, but Pike looks down at his command chair, and on the arm, he sees the bio readings for Patel, so he's like checking up on her. In my brain, it comes right after they're talking about the radiation between the suns that they're going to have to go through. And there was a time where, I think it was in season 1, when Pike looks down at the arm of his chair and sees his reflection, and it's the reflection of him after the radiation burns, and like his reflection of that is that of his future self. And I was like, I don't know if it was deliberate, but it was like the same side, the same like kind of look down and this ominous thing that's looming over him. So if that was deliberate, beautiful touch. If it wasn't deliberate, thank you, overactive imagination.
I thought it was even if it's not, the fact that you remember a moment from really long ago that was impactful tells you that it's making sense.
Well, my sin for that moment is, why the fuck does the captain ever say, Captain to sickbay, give me an update on patient whatever? You've got it on your fucking chair. We've just seen it's proved. It's on the chair. He can just look down, see the bio readings, doesn't have to ask for an update. Anything else, Ambassador, before I barrage you with a few sins?
I love Spock.
Oh, yes, you do. You quivered quite a lot whenever he came on screen. Arrived on screen.
There was a moment when, at the very end of like the Chapel Spock moment, when she says, thank you for your help. And Spock says, you are welcome. But how he says it is like how Wesley talks to Buttercup when he says, as you wish. And he's not saying you are welcome. And fucking Spock in the next episode is bonkers incredible, and I just want to get to it. So no, I don't have anything else for this one.
I love it. I have some sins that I would be remiss if I didn't mention them. I dislike the spinny camera. I think we should stop. Okay. I don't like the Dutch angles, which is like whenever the camera is like slanted quite heavily. The spinny, especially on the bridge when we're doing action and stuff. Quit it. Stop it. I know you spent a lot of money on that rig and you love playing with it, but fucking stop. Put the camera down. Put me on the bridge. I want to be there. I want to watch what happens. I don't need to be repeatedly inverted. Sorry, old man yells at camera cloud.
I didn't mind it that much. I thought it was kind of fun, especially when it's like spinning in and then you're spinning into like Pike's mind. I loved that. And maybe like the whole episode's a little bit much, but
yeah,
to like just remind you how whirly-twirly the situation is and how disorienting it would be to be a captain when you have all this input coming in and his job is to sort of take it all in and figure out what the next best steps are. I thought that the camera angle like denoted.
I guarantee that is the artistic intent behind it. I don't like it. I've just got two more. The more
you're not alone. Chad hates it.
Yes. The more echo chamber. Let's go. The more we learn about the Gorn, and I mean like specifically the like hibernation stuff, and the fact that Uhura is giving it to us, it just makes it so fucking weird that in Arena the Gorn are like as much of a surprise and mystery as they are, especially when Uhura is on the bridge. She should just like, hey Spock, remember that time when we put the Gorn into hibernation and like there was almost that war and we prevented it, and then like our old captain's girlfriend got infected, and then how much we learned about that. And it's a good thing that we have some of that Illyrian blood always on hand now, so this is fine. It's so like, put Uhura out of the, like, I want more Uhura, but don't have her interacting with the Gorn stuff, because it's so hard. You write yourself into a corner, and the only reason this is the Gorn is because it's a name we recognize. You can't tell me this had to be the Gorn. It didn't. You're going to hibernate them, make up a species. That's why we haven't heard of them, because they're now hibernating for 700 years.
There was a lot that is left to be understood about the Gorn. They did attempt to answer quite a bit about how things work. So I don't know, but yeah, it didn't have to be. You're right.
And I'm not the, like, as Flyboy just mentioned in the chat, I'm not the canon cop. Have fun with your things, but this one is a little bit, gets under my skin a little bit, which is probably good for the Gorn.
I wasn't distracted by that as much as I was about the actor who plays Uhura's like her wig cap. Did you notice that?
Oh, 100%. It was impossible to not notice it.
Her head is very elongated.
And it was shaped wrong. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be horrible. If we're wrong and that wasn't a wig, we are horrible people. But I would be befuddled if that wasn't Celia Rose Gooding in a wig to hide their hair growth, because they filmed this a year after it happened. So they did film part of it later then? As far as I know, they filmed it way, way later, yeah, and they had to hide her hair. Yeah,
I was very distracted by it, but only because you're right. No, this is going to be terrible if we're wrong.
Yeah, I'm going to research, and only the live show will have ever heard this. I'll cut it out. All right, Ambassador, we've done it. Let's head over to Wedding Bell Blues. Give us a synopsis.
Oh, in this episode, you will find that I was incredibly disinterested and then quite interested, all within about 20 seconds.
It was a roller coaster. It was, somebody was altering your reality in the moment. It was kind of perfect.
In this episode, we are visited by the reality that Spock's ideas of potentially being able to be with Chapel are shattered. He's wrestling with her having found someone else to be with in an incredibly awkward series of scenes that then result in a wedding to Chapel that is not real. And also, this is when I checked out. I was like, this is a dream. And then all of a sudden I realized, no, it's not a dream. And I called it. We'll talk about that here in a second.
Uh-huh.
And we get to have the first of Ian's predictions come true for the season, which is
2 at once.
2, what is it called? Cameos?
My prediction was that across the season there will be 5 cameos of characters, not species, named characters that we've heard of. And so far we've had Roger Corby, who already exists, and fucking Q. What? Q. Not just Q. Trelane. It's this shit right here is a big, bold move, and I love it. It's also a very safe move for lots of reasons. We'll get into that. I know the episode didn't officially name him as Trelane, but IMDb has, and I've just done like some research. It's Trelane. That was Trelane, and that means so much. What isn't confirmed is that he's a Q, although it's all but Actually,
He's
no, I think they
Q-esque.
did. I need to look up that article
He's
again.
Q-esque. Well, let's get into it.
Yeah, sorry. It derailed my brain so much. But yeah, they I think they have canonized Trelane as a Q, which is huge.
The succinct version is that
I'm sorry, was
Spock
I not being succinct?
is able to like live out his dream of having Chapel as his own, and then in a deeper poor Spock twist is made aware of this fake world that he's in where Chapel is in love with him and they're about to get married and everyone's happy for them. He joins true reality with Chapel's man as the only two people on the ship that know that something is squiffy, and it's them kind of trying to figure out the mystery of it all, work out what is and is not happening, and then kind of have to play along up until the point that Spock gives one of the most incredible speeches ever.
Isn't it a great speech?
And then we get to also add a couple new characters to our roster for this season, and we end with a very awkward dance scene. And that's this episode.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
That's it. So overall thoughts and feelings. Did you like this episode? Ambassador, there's not much more I can say on the did you like it front, because it's such a weird, wacky shift in tone. So did you enjoy it?
I really liked this episode, but it's kind of like one of those moments when you're just about to throw something away and then you realize, oh no, this is valuable. I should keep it. Because I was checking out hardcore on this one.
Yeah.
There came a moment as soon as Spock went to sleep and he woke up and I literally said, she's going to be laying next to him on the pillow. And there she was on the pillow. And I was like, oh, I'm so disinterested in this.
That's exactly where I was at as well. Because as soon as something becomes a dream or altered reality, it by definition, it doesn't matter. Yes, they can learn lessons. Yes, it can be impactful. But it kicked me out so hard. Because I was like, this is a resolve their feelings episode. And I could not have been less interested until we started snapping some fingers.
Yes, and I definitely called that.
You did.
I will say just
before the finger snap.
Before the finger snap, I sure did. I will say that the chat is just alive with a lot of very passionate Star Trek folks who are letting us know in real time that it is both confirmed and unconfirmed, depending on which site you go to, of who this character is. So just a reminder, we just watched this episode and we're just landing in. And so maybe we'll come back and talk about it later. But right now we are operating under the assumption that is Q's son, I think.
Q, not out necessarily.
Don't you fucking tell me what is and is not happening in Star Trek. I am the professional here.
It's fair. Absolutely fair.
I know.
Absolutely
that was the
fair.
most dad-son conversation I think I have ever seen.
Young Q, not necessarily dad and son.
That was so dad-son.
I don't think he ever said dad. But definitely.
Aw, gee, why don't you ever let me have any kind of fun?
He's absolutely a child, but the Q, like he's a young Q that the other Q are trying to look after. But the fact that was John Delancey's voice is a lot. And that's the John Delancey thing and the connections to TOS. That was Trelane. That was Q. He did say dad. Did he say dad? Mother.
I thought so, but
damn it.
I'm gonna check my notes and just see, because you know how sometimes I'll just write.
You're quite right.
Write exactly what I hear.
I'm remembering that. Yeah. Okay.
I'm just gonna see if I can find.
Well, so what would be really interesting now? Yeah, we're jumping way ahead. Sorry. We've seen the Voyager episode where Q has a son, and to stop the Civil War, mates and has a son, and then that Q comes back. So if we're talking about the Q that can change time and do whatever, what if that is Q's son from Voyager, who travels back in time as an immature person, renames himself Trelane, and causes bother and worry in the past? So this could actually be a triple canonization of things.
Oh man, he does. In my notes, I have him saying, "Not now, Dad."
Okay, I stand corrected. Yeah, great.
I don't know. Anyway.
It's interesting.
The vibe was very dad-son.
Yes.
Anyway, but let's get into it.
Yeah, let's just go through it in order. So we rejoined the Enterprise 300 years. 3 months, that could have been Discovery. 3 months of repairs, so it explains why everything is back to normal. People's hair have changed, stuff like that, which was actually one of my predictions for the season, was that there will be a mid-season hairdo change. And I'm going to count episode 2 as mid-season.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm going to take it.
As long as you let me have the clam.
Nope. And we're coming up on the 100th anniversary of the Federation, put together in 2161, and we're now in 2261. And yeah, that's what we're coming up to. And Spock is dancing, and he's dancing with La'an, right? Who is feeling much looser now. So that's a good place to start. How did you feel about seeing this lighter version of La'an, that they definitely address the fact that she's lighter, and where Spock is in this moment and his expectations?
Yeah. It's okay.
I never know if you're thinking or if it's time to move on.
I don't either. I think I was a little bit confused because, and I don't want to talk about Spock and Chapel too much, because like some are saying in the chat, I too am a bit ready to move on from
spent. Yeah.
the drama of it. In my headcanon, Spock he loves Chapel, but he has made a lot of assumptions about like her readiness to jump into a relationship. And I don't understand. I mean, like when you're young, I think that that's a very normal thing, that you begin to pin all your hopes onto some individual and don't give yourself time. But I don't know that I believe that Spock would do that. Maybe he's much younger than I think he is, and just very inexperienced in relationship, and I think kind of missing something.
I think he's 30 or younger in this series.
It's really, it's just really hard for me, because part of me just believes that he would not have had romantic expectations. And in the previous episode, she says, please don't do something romantic.
Like, wait for me.
Yeah. And then he says, I want to do this romantic gesture and dance with her and do a big romantic gesture. And for how much Spock respects her, and she has been so, in my mind, clear that she wants space and she wants time to think and that she cares about him. But she's not been flirtatious. She's given like the very friendly kiss and that I care about you.
Yeah.
But, so for the episode to start off with this massive assumption that Chapel is going to beam aboard and run into his arms makes me a little bit sick.
That was a bit jarring for me too. I'm with you.
And I don't know if it's because I am so obsessed with Spock that I want him to be my man.
Could be it.
Like, or if it's just like a character thing for me. And I genuinely don't know. I'm in my feelings about it right now. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when I watched Lord of the Rings movies. And as incredible as they are, and I love them so much, they're some of my all-time favorite moments that I've ever had in a movie theater, like watching something and just being completely in awe of what I'm seeing. And so I never want to take away from that. But it's like there's these certain characters that I just come to sort of covet, and when you fuck with them, I get pissed. And I'm mad. I am mad that that's what they did with Spock. And so I'm wrestling with that right now while we're talking about it. So what I'm doing to calm myself down is just remembering what he looks like half naked.
That's fair. And we got plenty of that this week. We really did.
Was nice.
Very, very attractive.
So now I know, I know what that's like a little bit. And that kind of helps me a little bit.
You got that in season 1 as well. You did get topless Spock.
Also, what I'll do with this episode is forward to the end with his speech to her.
And pretend he's saying it to you.
No.
Wait, no, because that's him breaking up with you. That would be horrible.
No. He says other things to me, but I don't want to talk about that right now. No, but truly, I thought that was such incredible writing in that poem. Holy
top
shit.
Notch. I mean, I know some of it is lifting from an actual poem, so they are borrowing some great writing from someone else. But
fucking beautiful.
His application of it and how they changed some of it, like even finding that poem and how applicable it is great. I know we're jumping to the end, but him acknowledging that you need somebody safer than Spock. You need somebody, I want you, I am not good for you. And it's not like a toxic way of saying that. It's just you need a human. Like there is something like fundamental about you need
or
somebody
not even
to
just
see
a
you
human.
better than I can.
I don't know. I think he was like recognizing that he was always going to struggle. That Enterprise was his number one. Like he's never going to be able to really put her in that first position. That's the same thing that happened with T'Pring. He was having the same kind of thing, you know, and I think he realized that there's someone better for her that she can go and live life with and have less, you know, potential conflict of what he has experienced so far.
That was very true with T'Pring, and I think that's definitely part of that here as well. But I think he also knows that she needs an emotional availability that he doesn't have, because what hits him is that the connection of her mother's birthday with the poem and what they were doing on the mountain. He never, even if he knew her mother's birthday or death day, I can't remember which one.
His birthday.
But even if he'd remembered that, he wouldn't have made the emotional connection about why she was feeling feelings on that mountain. And Corby,
that's such a lie. He
made
would have
that connection.
That is such a lie. He can logic those things together.
I don't know.
She is sad. What is today? He is the fucking most brilliant character.
Okay, even if he figures it out, he may not appreciate it the same way that Corby
That might
would.
be true. He might not know how to appreciate the same way. But he also still offered her a beautiful gift as something as a gesture of love whenever she comes off of the thing. Anyway, I love how this ends, and I had such a fun time watching this episode as a whole, that I can I make myself forget how angry I am that they are setting up this thing. And I just hope, like the Gorn, that we're done with it.
I think we have to be. I think we are done, especially now that they know that season 5 is the end. I think this is just cusping on enough where I can see their relationship now, fast forward 5-6 years to when we're in the original series now. And I can feel like the affection that Chapel has for Spock and some of the episodes where they interact a bit more passionately. I now get that up to this point. And I think if they stop now, I can buy the bridge. And I think that's the intent. I think that's what they're going to do.
Yeah. So I like when the dancing happens at the top of the episode, it literally like just sets me as he is expecting all these things to happen. And then we just watch the whole thing kind of train wreck together. Yeah. And really until we get kind of more into the middle section, I'm really struggling with this episode. So a lot of my reflection on that is going to be very like constricted, but here's what I love. La'an looks beautiful, and the person that is La'an, like the real
Christina
person.
Chong, I think. Yes, Christina
we
Chong.
Learned during the Elysian Kingdom episode, which is referenced in this episode. I loved that reference that Spock does. Like the last time this happened, we had to sing.
Well, no, that was the Subspace Rhapsody episode. Yeah. Yes.
So okay, yes, the singing one. Yes, that's it. But we got to see, I think she's a really great singer, if I remember correctly.
She's an incredible singer. She has an album.
So she sings and she can ballroom dance.
Yeah.
Like, and I kind of, it's fun whenever they like realize that one of their people has these exceptional skills. And they're like, you know what, we're going
to. This scene, and people mentioned it in the chat, you can't not think of Beverly teaching Data to dance in an episode of TNG. And the reason Beverly was picked was because Gates McFadden can tap dance. So they brought her tap dancing in to teach Data how to dance before she realizes she's supposed to be teaching him to dance for a wedding, but he never tells her that until the end. So massive Data Beverly vibes from that dancing lesson. And again, that did feel homage-y to me, and I love it. The big mistake but the big red flag for me that feels out of character is La'an not saying, hey, it doesn't have to be a big romantic gesture. Like, she's she's a great dance instructor. She's a terrible confidant for Spock right now, because Spock's just like, it is true that humans enjoy big romantic gestures. Yeah, if you're in an episode of Friends, maybe, but I feel like she should say, yeah, how about you just treat it like a fucking person and talk instead of turning up with a big gesture. There
was a few things about this episode that were in that same vein of Spock was not treated very well in this episode. Chapel could have called him in advance and given him a heads up.
Give him a heads up. I didn't want you to find out like this. In your power.
La'an could have said something like, hey, are you sure that Chapel is wanting to receive that, and kind of given him a check. And then in the end, after the wedding completely falls apart and it's seen to be this hoax, nobody goes to Spock.
No, somebody should be at his side. Yeah.
Oh, while after some dancing ends and the on comes over, she's like, there's lots of kinds of love, like your speech.
Mm-hmm.
And this person is crushed. And how he was treated whenever he shows up to hang out with everybody. And they're like, oh, here comes the Debbie Downer. Honestly, so many emotions for me in this episode.
Yes.
And a lot of them are just like fury at making this character kind of like
an exile.
The throwaway guy that they can kind of shit on in this episode. I did not like that.
Well, didn't it feel a bit high school as well? Like that felt like a high school relationship thing.
I did not.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
I did not like it. I thought that it could have been done better, but when you have this other interesting stuff, the things I did like about it was like when Spock and Corby were having to kind of figure stuff out and use their intellect to sort of splice together what's actually happening. That was really fun, like the figuring out of the mystery. And then this Q-ish character was fascinatingly fun to watch. So I kind of have to. Mm-hmm. It's like I want to go scene to scene, but then I'm just right back in my pissed offness.
Well,
so
I'm going to help us. I'm going to focus us onto. So overall, I love the heck out of this episode, which is a high bar of difficulty when it's essentially a love triangle episode that I should hate. So they very sneakily designed this episode to be something that makes it very accessible and very enjoyable, in my opinion. If the Trelane Q, whatever stuff doesn't work for you, you're going to hate this episode pretty fucking hard, but it worked for me. So I really enjoyed it. But a good transition into that, an incredible scene in what's a great episode for me is in the transporter room for lots of reasons. Like this sets up the little transporter ghost thing that I love that in an episode. Oh, the amount of times that Geordi, Worf, Barclay, there was a blip on my sensor, but it's gone now. And then just move on with the episode. Guess there's nothing to worry about here. And it comes back around. I love that setup. The use of Scotty in general in that scene as the cut over to awkward Scotsman just fiddling with the transporter as something hideously awkward happens.
And you got to see his like fingers go on the slide. That's like all one slide.
So good. That's how you do a transporter, Scotty. That's how you work it. And what hit me the most, this is where Strange New Worlds isn't afraid to play. It's the music at the end of this scene before the opening credits roll. There's this very TOS like almost jovial thing when it's revealed that he's my date. It's kind of like a Friends guitar, not guitar riff, but the music changes and does this thing. There was like
the Star Trek version of it.
Yeah, the Star Trek version of it that I couldn't hear in TOS, and Strange New Worlds incorporating that. It is so playful and it's just set the tone beautifully for me.
And it also is like, oh, Spock's deadly.
Yeah, Spock might murder this man. Love all of that. I guess if we're going scene by scene, we should jump into. I don't know if this has got to be something that's being set up that's going to come back around, but it's Ortegas and Uhura with Ortegas' discount Elnor, her younger brother. So I guess that's setting up that he's going to be a recurring character as well, doing a documentary and maybe a love interest for Uhura.
Yeah.
Did you like him? How do you feel about his addition?
No, I didn't really care too much. I do like seeing Ortegas play off of him, the fighting, because I wasn't expecting the haymaker.
It felt like the Riker moment when Boimler does the Riker, like, haymaker, chin. Beautiful comic timing. Loved that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was also fun to see kind of the casualness because they're not back to work just yet. So it's such a juxtaposition of this intense war two-parter and then a
massive tonal shift.
We've been on vacation for 3 months. So, or we're all kind of like having some downtime before the 100-year celebration.
In another mirroring of TNG, after the Best of Both Worlds wraps up, that starts season 4. Episode 2 of season 4 is Family, and it's almost exactly the same. They've had this 3-month gap. Beverly is doing something with the remains of the possessions of her ex-husband. He died, I guess. It's not really ex-husband, is it? Anyway, everyone's kind of doing their own things. They're in dry dock. They're all having their own time. The Enterprise is under repair. And it's this tonal shift from it's the end of the universe, and now we're going back into just some casual stuff. So it is very shocking to go from it's the end of the world to we're going to play tennis and do boxing stuff in this episode. That's what we're going to do. So yeah, there is a bit of somebody in the Discord said there's some tonal whiplash that, yeah, I agree. But when you do individual adventures like this, I think you get away with it. I think Strange New Worlds is priding itself on being episodic in nature, and I bloody love that.
I think it's also important that we remember that there's multiple characters being added into the next season. They're not going to be leaning on the same characters from seasons 1 and 2. We're going to be introducing some new folks, including a new bartender and a new person in the sick bay. So I think they have to kind of have some fun this episode too, to just there's a lift up in these different scenes, and Ortega's is so fun.
So fun, so playful.
So I think it's important that if they're going to be bringing a more serious aspect of this character and kind of give her some darkness instead of just sort of quippy, sassy character, that they're expanding her world or their world enough to maybe be able to bring it in more regularly, like somebody that can remind her of her sassiness. So we'll see. We'll see what they do.
Yeah, I love that we're getting more of her. Like, that's the bottom line. Like, we've asked for more Ortegas, and they are finally delivering on that, and I love it so much. So we then, I guess we kick off this mystery person. Like we said, we have the everyone's at the party. Spock is a bit ostracized, goes and gets a drink, and we see the reflection is a Vulcan bartender, but actually who we see is this flamboyant character. Who is going to kick off the mystery? So when did you call it? What exactly was the moment when because you just said, I wonder if that's a cue.
Well, for me, it was when there was a reflection in the window. So I think it was Spock's room or something. And there was just this transition of a scene and you could see a reflection in the window. I actually had to rewind it to see it.
Yes.
Because I'm thinking, what being can float outside and survive? You know, what being can be a ghost? And then it appeared as multiple different things, and then seemed the energy of the exchange of the bartender right at that moment was that they could make anything happen and fuck with you. And that's really fun. Like, and that to me is the only kind of species that I know of that has this ability to potentially not be seen by others and sneak in and sort of have some fun and just mess some stuff up. That's a very Q-like thing to do, a very bored, God-like character. And there was this energy that reminded me of Q from TNG, this kind of like, but very childlike too, which was really fun. And this character, the whole entire episode is just having a great, great time, you know?
He's incredible. Like, it is we're just going to go ahead under the assumption that this is a Q. I don't know why you have John Delancey voice the Cloud Dad unless you're saying it's a Q. I don't know why you do the finger snap to change things unless it's a Q. Like, it's got to be Q. So that's what we're going to go ahead with. Doing a Q episode is so difficult when there have been so many Q episodes. It's like, what more are you going to do with this character? And I know this isn't QQ necessarily, but this is a Q. And I loved it so much. I had so much fun. Like the way that he's messing with Spock and he'll snap his fingers and move him around. He'll make him little. It's the stuff I think they wanted to do with Q, probably like back in the 90s. And now they can like mess around with it. Like Q with 21st century CG is like, what can we get Q to do? This is amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes the episode absolutely sing for me. And Rhys Darby freaking nails being a Q. He is so stinking good. He's such a highlight.
Yeah, it really is fun. So when he gives Spock the drink and then Spock lays down and wakes up, as I already said, I kind of checked out at this point because I thought it was going to be everything from here on doesn't matter because it's in a dream world.
Yeah, completely shifts that.
And then there was this kind of moment after where I thought, would they really do that? Would the writers really risk that reveal? A lot of times the reason those types of episodes work well is because you, the audience, are surprised towards the end so that you don't check out.
Yes.
And here they're giving you that information very early on. So I re-engaged my writer brain and wondered like, okay, well, what are they actually kind of doing here? And then when everyone kind of shows up in the room and they're all, I thought Spock is either going to be dreaming, and then it hit me. But if this is real, this is a cue, because they're also powerful enough to force some sort of unified delusion onto an entire group of people.
Yeah.
So that's when it solidified for me. And then, of course, isolating Kirk Corby. Corby
got some red flags for me. I was like, there's a reason you keep kicking him out.
Mm-hmm. Just kind of pushing him off to the side. And I love treating him oddly like a little... the bridesmaid with the outfit that he was wearing was hysterical.
So funny.
So yeah, there was before even the snaps, but then that first snap, you're right. Why would Star Trek choose to do that, knowing what everyone feels about the snap if they were...
That got me. Like I wasn't sold up until that point, because there are episodes where I've been like, why wasn't that cute? Like, why did you create a new being? I know I've just made an argument about creating the Gorn and whatever, like how that is. It didn't have to be the Gorn. You could have made a new alien. But when he does the finger snap to change the food, I was like, you were just missing the flash, like the Q flash. And I was like, I wonder why they didn't do the entire flash. But as soon as he did the click, I was like, there's no way that's not Q. And then like the uniform, like what he's wearing, just kind of raised some red flags for me. And then when they do like the childlike thing at the end, this is definitely a child Q. And the reason I jumped to the character called Trelane, as most of the internet has in my brief little dabbling into some research, is that there's an episode of TOS called The Squire of Gothos, and they go down to a planet and are trapped there with this character called Trelane, who forces them to play games. And I don't think he snaps his fingers, but he can make matter appear, he can make things disappear, he traps the ship in orbit, the crew are just like his playthings, and he's bored. And at the very end of the episode, a gas cloud thing comes along and says, "You've been very naughty, you can't do this." And he says, "But I wanna. And they don't realize that they've been dealing with a child this entire time, and you can't reason and logic with this child, and it's a child with superpowers. And eventually, at the end of the episode, Kirk is sent away, the cloud god apologizes, and Trelane is banished. And I think he's actually like locked up and put in prison somewhere, or locked in a star or something like that. But ever since Q was introduced in TNG, it's been like, is Trelane a Q? Because all of the hallmarks are there. Like, he feels very, very Q. There was a Star Trek book called Q Squared that confirmed that Trelane was a Q, because Trelane comes back and fucks with the multiverse, and Q has to team up with Picard to stop him. But the books aren't canon. The books don't matter. So it's always been a very comfortable fan theory that Trelane was a Q. So although it's not specifically mentioned here, he is so Trelane. They do enough work in this episode to canonize all of that and bring one of the most popular fan theories to the screen with just enough wiggle room for interpretation to get out of it. But he is listed as Trelane on IMDb, so maybe IMDb is wrong. Maybe Memory Alpha isn't ready to commit to that until somebody explicitly, one of the showrunners says, yes, that's what we're doing. But come on, guys, like, he's wearing the same fucking thing. I managed to, between episodes, or between watching and getting into the recording, I jumped into this. That is Trelane from the original series. And I'm just like, it's the same like kind of military garb kind of thing. His mannerisms are similar. The sideburns are very similar. Like, it's gotta be.
Yeah, the costuming it's definitely could be a nod, which, by the way, the costuming in this episode,
absolutely stunning.
The character, this Trelane character, whatever they may or may not be, to just all of the elaborate kind of clothing that we got to see. It was so nice. It reminded me of Elysium Kingdom all over again. Just like the costume department went
even
all
their casual stuff, like what Hura is wearing, the casual stuff was just beautiful. And Mark R in the live chat just jumped in and said that Akiva Goldsman, who is the showrunner, has confirmed that it was Trelane over the weekend. So yeah, and even him confirming it, unless you said it in the episode, there's still wiggle room to get out of it and backpedal. But that's enough for me. Like, that's Trelane. Trelane is a Q. That makes me so happy, because that is like respecting a fan theory that is completely plausible, doesn't really do any harm, and is just a very like kind of comfortable bow in it for me.
Yeah.
I love it. I really like it.
Yeah. It really did a lot of interesting things this episode, because the forced wedding is also a forced moment for Spock to realize that he's not the one for Chapel on his own, without it being too much of the love triangle stuff is exhausting. But I guess if you have to do that, if that's part of what you need to do to kind of like bring all of the history of Spock, Chapel, and all that stuff kind of together, this is a really interesting way to do it.
Yeah,
because
it really is.
You're having each character come to the realization. I said during the episode, if they don't have Chapel come to her own revelation before she weds, I'm going to be pissed. Because then you're removing her ability to recognize that something is off too. Spock had realized that there was a delusion going on because he experienced an intense emotion.
Yeah.
And the theory is that maybe an intense emotional experience is what wakes you up, and everyone else didn't really need to have one. They were all kind of just enjoying that we're going towards this union, and that's something that each person would kind of like be able to go along with really easily. But the three people rather that would be really struggling with it are the love triangle trio. So what a really interesting way to write it. I thought the writing was really well.
Yeah.
I don't like I said, this how we're kind of like being forced into this, but if you're going to do an episode like this, how fun to also have it be this Kid Q episode at the same time, because you can have the seriousness of the relationship shattering of Spock. This was a really sad episode. I was very sad watching this episode.
That was really interesting. Throughout the episode, whenever there was like a wedding thing and we focused on Spock, you're like, this is miserable. Like, this is a really cruel thing to do to Spock. This is really sad.
Yes.
It is heartbreaking.
It was really, really
hard to
hard.
break.
And does this happen in real life? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Does someone show up that you think you're going to have something with and they reveal that they're with someone? Yes, these things do happen, but watching it happen to Spock just feels really cruel.
No, it really does.
But to have it be where he has his own revelation and then he's forced to be the only one awake with his rival.
Oh man, it's kind of genius.
And their sparring moment back and forth about their intellect.
Oh my God.
So funny.
Good. Roger's like, I guess my massive intellect means that I was immune. Spock's like, of the two of us, like if there was a brain that could gain an immunity to this, I'm positive it wouldn't be yours. Not even that it's mine. I just know it's not you because you're dumb.
Yes.
Brutal.
Mm-hmm.
But no, if you'd have told me that this is going to be a love triangle episode where they Spock has to come to terms with Chapel having a new love interest, I might have skipped it. So the fact that you made this something I really enjoyed is great. Well done. Pat on the back. You cheated by using Q, but damn it, the results speak for themselves.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. It was really powerful fun. When the Q starts going, a cavalcade of death, and all these sort of fun
all
lines.
Of you, a plague of both your houses.
Yeah, there's just
so fun.
There's so much to look at in this episode with the incredible costuming, and there's so much to see. There's the addition of some characters. I'm really curious how they're going to be doing this new bartender person who seems kind of like fun, to talk about the drink that they were making and say that, it's going to burn a hole through you and then burn a hole whatever's below you.
I am so interested in bringing that character in. And is this somebody in the live chat do a bit of research for me because I'm in the moment. Is that the alien from the animated series that has 3 hands? Because I thought the third hand was meant to be in the front. So if this is bringing that alien from the animated series into live action, that's great. I love that so much. And I think they're an Elosian or something. Edosian, yeah.
I'm on the Star Trek Reddit. This is always really dangerous to be doing this on the fly.
Of course.
Looks like the Enterprise is getting a new bartender. Let's see. The voice of Trena Keating, who plays Doc Well on Defiance. That's interesting. But
it looks like they've moved the front arm to be in the back, which may just be a variation of the species. I've only seen one Edosian, so it might just be that they can go wherever.
Yeah, it says the showrunners confirm she is Edosian. Another change from the animation to live action is the third arm growing from the back rather than from the chest, probably simply because it's easier to film that way.
Let's go.
And let's talk about that. I think that there's just another person, kind of like master 100%. Puppetry situation, and they're like just
Yeah.
They're used to just doing it. How fun would that be?
I want to see the behind the scenes of that.
I always love watching the behind the scenes, like Muppets and stuff, or like Kermit. You know, you got the, they're just like, they have the one hand.
Have you seen that video of it's something from Sesame Street?
So fun.
And someone is getting one of the characters to walk down the stairs, and the way they did it is they're puppeting everything while two people grab him by the ankles and just pull him down the stairs. It's great. I love it. But no, I love that. I love bringing that, because the reason that person appears in the animated series is because it was the 70s and they couldn't do crazy aliens in the 60s for the live action show.
Yeah.
So when you get to animation, you can have cat people and you can have three-armed aliens, do whatever you want. And it's such like a nod to, we have the technology, we can do this. Here's a live action Adosian. Guess what? They're going to be your new Guinan and they're going to be the bartender. It's not just a passing thing. They're going to be in the series. Oh man, I love this. It makes me so sad that Strange New Worlds is leaving today. I'm not ready.
Well, we have time. Ready. We still have some time. And hopefully we're going to have some good episodes to come of just a really cool crew congealing together and having a fantastic time, fighting their demons, fighting the bad guys, having like, I'm really excited to see what next episode's going to be, because I feel like there is a chance, like when you've eaten something and you get the shits and then you're like, oh, I think I'm done. And then every once in a while it's like, okay, so we hope we're both done with the Gorn shits and this love triangle shits. And the hope is that in episodes 3, 4, 5, all of a sudden it's not like an accidental attack where it's like, no, I'm not quite done yet. You have to go back to the bathroom, because I'm ready for it to be finished.
And any relief you felt from that first wave is now gone, because it's hitting you and you want it to be over. But way to resolve both things in a way that made me really happy as well. Done. Great execution. And we moan at them for releasing 2 episodes at once because it makes production irritating. Like, we've been here for 5 hours now, but this works. Like, releasing these 2 together is really crucial, because I just think that's great. I think it's good. Boom, boom, get it done. So yeah, super duper duper happy. I had a couple of funny sins that I wanted to mention from this episode. Patel says, I'm picturing you in a boys' choir. And I was just like, that's weird.
My sin's just going to be Jitterbug. It could have been anything other than Jitterbug.
I'm now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to search the internet for the next maybe 17 hours and find footage of George Michael, lead singer of Wham, talking about Star Trek. Because when you introduce a pop singer post Star Trek's existence, you got to be damn careful that they don't start talking about Captain Kirk, Captain Picard. Like, when you use a pop culture song like that, you're going to break something. So if he's ever mentioned Star Trek in an interview, the fuck are we doing? What's happening, people?
I love this comment from Slab. It should have been the chicken dance.
That would be great, because, you know, what if in the future it's a great song, or it's like Rebecca Black's Friday? Like, it's
shut your fucking mouth. That song. I'm leaving.
For context, I just introduced Friday to Iris. Daughter. And now all Iris can do whenever she comes in the door is, it's Friday, Friday. But that's the only bit she can remember. So it's just, it's Friday on a loop.
I do not know how to get back at Ian. If you have any ideas, I beg you, send them to me, please.
There is nothing.
Please send them to me, because I need something that will hurt
You've got
him.
Nothing. You can, I mean, she can smash my ships. That's all you can do. That is all you've got. That was jarring. Didn't like it. I'm going to move on and pretend it didn't happen, but it's fine. Last thing that I had really was the computer not being able to tell that there are any like strange readings. But then Spock is just like, hey, do an inventory count of the ship. Is there anyone who's here that isn't supposed to be here? And the computer's like, oh yeah, one person unaccounted for. Information that would have been useful yesterday. Like, what were you sitting on that computer?
I think it was actually the doctor that
the doctor asked the initial question, and then Spock said, where is the stowaway that you should know isn't meant to be on the ship computer? Ambassador, let's do pips for both episodes.
Okay.
Pips for Hegemony Part 2, not Homogeny.
How many pips can there be?
4.
I'm going to give it 3.
Giving it 3 as well. I'm with you.
Yeah, I think
solid
3 pips.
Open.
Yeah.
Solid open. Wedding Bell Blues.
2.
3 for me as well.
I think
solid
I have to
open.
go 2. I'm too mad about Spock.
I'm with you.
But I really did have it was so fun though. Like thinking back on it, we have some fun. So we were recording when we watched the show.
Yes.
And there were so many moments we were just howling out in laughter and getting really excited about like who it is. And man, when a show can engage you like that and you can like yell at the TV, I think I need to go 3. I think I have to go 3. Yeah. No, I'm going to go 2.5. I'm going to go 2 because I'm pissed about, I'm really mad about Spock.
Lieutenant Commander. That's fine. That's what it gets.
I'm really upset about the Spock thing. But they have, no. They have to do something. They have to give us an answer. I'm going to go 3. I'm so sorry.
It's a great resolution.
I'm going to go 3.
It's a resolution I wish had happened last season. I think that would be my biggest qualm, but I love it. This is so much fun. This is such a strong opening to season 3. Like, so strong.
Don't watch it now.
Don't watch anymore. I love the tits off of this. Next week's episode is going to be season 3, episode 3, Shuttle to Kenfori.
Ooh, this could be the prediction that there's going to be a shuttle. I'm going to win.
Yes, I think you can. I don't know if I allowed you to have that prediction though.
I think it was like a blown up shuttle
there was
with debris.
Be a blown up shuttle.
Yeah, I had to have like some debris.
Yeah, absolutely. For this episode, I think you said that there was going to be. We got the wedding right because we thought it was going to be Spock and Chapel, and you thought there was going to be a clam in this episode.
I did expect a clam, and what I saw was something very similar to Chapel's braids, and now I understand why I saw that, and I'm counting it.
I'll let you have it.
Yes!
It's fine. This is going to be uncanny. Most of our predictions are going to be done by episode 3 by the sounds of it. But
sounds like it. We're just getting too good.
Thoroughly looking forward to a Shuttlecraft episode because some of my favorites are Shuttlecraft episodes. I'm expecting some Galileo 7 homages. So yeah, Shuttle to Kenfori will be the next episode that we cover. Let's go. This transition is going to be a bit strange. Let's go and do some emails. But where are we going to do the emails? Should we keep them in engineering?
I think we got to go sickbay, man.
Are we going to sickbay for the email? All right.
Let's get the Gorns out.
2 to email. 2 to email. Fucking hell. 2 to sickbay. Okay, hailing frequencies open, everyone. It's time for us to read your messages from Discord, Twitch, and, well, email. Okay, I got a good nitpick from Josh Zero in the Discord. And if you want to join our Discord to talk about some spoiler chat and just general Star Trek stuff, it's discord.gg/cinemasins. And there's a Captain's Pod channel and a Captain's Pod Strange New World spoiler channel. This is not a spoiler, Josh Zero says. I just need to get nitpicky over the use of the word hegemony in Strange New World. This be etymology corner with Josh Zero. I love it. Hegemony defines as one political influence dominating another, with the subjective group doing so willingly because of propaganda and or fear of reprisal. That is not what the Gorn are or do. They are simply a dominating force. No one is willingly being subjugated by the Gorn, that we know of, Josh. That is therefore not a hegemony. It's a subtle difference, and I think they wanted to use the word domination that was too close to the word dominion, which has already been used in Trek canon, so they went to a close enough synonym. Whatever, it's still incorrect. The Gorn are not and hegemony. Now, I know this sparked a conversation that I didn't have time to read the full body of, but I believe hegemony actually came before dominion. I think they named it hegemony in the original series, and they've been stuck with it ever since. But I think you're right. It's not strictly a hegemony unless there are lots of aspects of the Gorn that we don't know about where they've incorporated other people into them. But I love that level of nitpicking. I love. You have to give them a title, like it's the Romulan Star Empire, because we already had the Klingon Empire, and you couldn't have 2 empires, so you have to put Star. So it's like the Imperial Star Empire, something like that. The Federation, and then the Dominion. What's the Cardassians? The Cardassian Brotherhood? Wouldn't surprise me. Somebody in the live chat will tell me. But yeah, I love a bit of etymology with hegemony. Cardassian Union, there we go. Heaven forbid they did some great marketing together and just made sure they didn't all land on different names. Ambassador, have you got any messages from the live chat you wanted to go through?
I wanted to read this fun fact from CDR that said delta rays are real, but much less damaging than in Star Trek, though energetic electrons can do some serious damage. I did find that interesting.
Love that.
Especially considering I'm really having a struggle understanding the whole Pike future thing right now. So
completely fair. Wandering had some fun predictions, and for the first episode, the cliffhanger is going to be resolved by Una taking charge and ordering the ship to withdraw. Now, this is something that wasn't addressed at all, because at the end of the finale, and I remember this annoying me now, was Pike, everyone is shouting at him saying that April is telling us to withdraw, we need orders, Captain. And like repeatedly, Una is like, we need orders, what are we going to do, Captain? And he's frozen at the front of the ship in front of the view screen, and then makes eye contact with the camera, and then it's to be continued. So it feels like he's going to be paralyzed with fear. There's going to be something stopping him, but he just kind of kicks back into gear. So I would have also predicted that someone else would have to step in as well.
Or he was looking to us like a never-ending story to make the story for them,
100%. And I think that's probably what, hey, writers, I don't have any more pages in my script.
In which case I would have saved Pike.
What happens next?
Another one from the chat was from David Ellis with a fun trivia for me that April
let's go.
was the first captain of the Enterprise before Pike.
Yep. Something I've told you before, Ambassador.
I like it. I like being reminded of those things. Because I remembered that April was somebody, but I forgot the Enterprise. But I think you actually said that earlier in the episode. I just forgot it already.
It's completely fine. It's okay. This is an email from Paulie Walnuts, I believe it was. But yes, it was Paulie in the Discord. And I love this. This isn't related to the episode at all, but this is headcanon for how hyposprays work. And it gets gradually more insane, and that's why I love it so much. So for anybody that doesn't know, a hypospray is a future injector device that can be loaded with lots of different serums and medicines to do whatever the plot needs to do in a medical situation. You should love this, Ambassador, because it's the ER of Star Trek and Grey's Anatomy and whatnot. But this the way this email opens is great, or message is, okay, Captain, this is just for you to explain to the Ambassador. The basic theory here is that you load a vial, but it's a big vial, and you just dial in the exact dose. So what they're typing in, the dose, the vial is just a liquid, you dial the amount, and that's it. 2, the advanced theory. Each hypospray has several reservoirs of common medication and a slot to pop in more specific medication when needed. So if you want to knock somebody out, it's already in there. If you want to wake them up, it's already in there. Something like a cancer cure, you got to pop that in the bottom. And then 3, the Star Trek level of this theory. There are no drugs in the hypospray until you dial it, because it's a mini transporter that is designed to pull from storage vials in the med bay, and it beams the vial into the hypospray. Which doesn't explain why you'd have to manually chuck something in there, but the beeping on there isn't doing a dosage at all. It's a little transporter. I love that.
That's crazy.
There's a follow-up to that. There are no drugs in the hypospray until you dial it up, because there's a mini replicator inside of it. So yeah, it's transporter or replicators. Everyone, this is going to be Fan Theory Corner. Send in your bizarre fan theories for how Star Trek technology works. We love it.
Let's see. I did want to mention this comment that I didn't understand. We're talking about how different different captains would go about the Gorn situation, like if they would go through or if they would go back after all the Gorn came pouring out. David Ellis said Sisko would get Garrick to kill a Romulan to get them to take care of the Gorn.
You understand that reference?
And I think I'm supposed to understand that reference, but it went right over my head. But Flyboy loved it, so I just wanted to. Oh,
it's hilarious! That's an absolutely hilarious reference. That was actually the last episode that we covered in the Pale Moonlight. With all of that guy Garrick, the Cardassian,
yes,
I love that. It's amazing. What have we got here?
So here's a sin from David earlier. So the Gorn confiscated all the captured crew's weapons, or they were just digested and they came out of the digestion tube thing, whatever that happens. But why did M'Benga still have his medical scanner? That's a really good point.
That's a great question, because they had to find the weapons because they were all goopy and
all
whatnot.
In the poo pile.
Oh, so why not just dissolve them all? Just put them somewhere away from the hostages that are going to escape.
I don't think that they're actually being taken. I think they're being ingested, and then they are ingested into their pod.
Right.
And the pod has a kind of built-in waste system that sort of ejects anything that's not a biodegradable consumable material.
Makes sense. I got last one. This is a double. This is from Sci-Fi Brony and Wandering, and there's a couple of others that I think had exactly the same sin. And I wondered if I'd misheard this. But at the beginning of the episode, Uhura says that Admiral April ordered a retreat and rendezvous with the fleet, and Pike then says, "Did he say right now?" And she's like, "No, didn't technically. Did he say immediately?" Like, no, I didn't technically say that. And then he uses that as a loophole. He does say immediately. April actually says immediate, unless all of us misheard it. He says, get out of there immediately, like immediately retreat. So they just glossed over that completely, even though they did it previously on and whatnot. So yeah, a bit of a weird one.
I assume that whoever wrote that line has a kid that is constantly attempting to get around whatever you're talking about.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fair.
Well, you did tell me to come over there, but you didn't say when, so I'll just do it later.
You didn't say when in the space-time continuum I should be there. I will say, again, just to repeat, the writing in these first two episodes is like upper level. Like it has really elevated. It feels really, really, really good. So yeah, loving that.
Couple more things from the chat. Sci-Fi Brony says, how would it not be in Captain Patel's file what she's allergic to? I know.
That allergy thing was so annoying. Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, she's allergic to the hypo spray thing. Of course she's allergic to it, and you find that out now.
Yeah, that's
Rumble.
And then just about the breakup stuff, David said that Spock said he reacted poorly, and the comment is, considering he was broken up with in song with a room full of your crewmates and friends singing backup, Spock's reaction was surprisingly restrained.
That's so fair.
And I had forgotten about that, so I think that's great.
That is absolutely when that breakup happens.
I completely forgot.
Yeah. I think I just shunted it out of my brain. Spock gets a raw fucking deal with Chapel. He really does. That's hilarious. I love that. Okay, everyone. We will be back next Wednesday with our coverage in your pod feed of Season 3, Episode 3, Shuttle to Kenfori. If you want it a day earlier, you can join the Cinema Sins Sinclub, where you get it 12 hours later. Later?
20.
You get to pay a subscription service and you get it later. You get the episode 12 hours earlier. And you can also join us live on twitch.tv/cinemasins and on YouTube live via the CinemaSins channel. Anything else, Ambassador? Anything you want to plug before we sign off?
No. Thanks for hanging in with us for a very long episode.
Heck yeah.
It's fun to be back at the microphone. And if you can join us for a live recording, we would love to have you. If you want to watch the shenanigans, you can always go to YouTube. They exist forever there.
Yeah, they do.
You can catch them on Twitch within 2 weeks of when we air the episode. And for those of you who are able to join us live, thank you guys so much for coming to the shows and with all your comments that kind of shape what this podcast has evolved into.
Absolutely. Oh, and captainspod@cinemasins.com for questions, emails, predictions. Give us some season predictions as well, and we'll see how much the Ambassador will outpredict you because she's weird.
There was one that I'm uncomfortable with.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, we'll see how that.
I went into some very strange places. I attempted to trance, I think.
You let it flow. I wish we'd recorded the video because you went full. You crossed your legs and went full meditation.
Yeah.
Well, until next week, I'm Captain Ian, and it's time for me to turn it off before we blow up.
And it's prepare for a cavalcade of death for me.
Live long and Podsper.
Thanks for listening. Want to connect with the show? Our hailing frequencies are always open through captainspod@cinemasins.com. Like, comment, and subscribe on your podcast player of choice, and be sure to visit cinemasins.com.
What did I do?
We are now recording, Deneé.
I don't understand.
That checks out. I fixed a toilet today. How many people can say that?
That's an interesting question. Do you feel like at any given time there's probably 7,000 people fixing a toilet in the United States at once?
7,000. Population of 300 million, I think. So what's that as a percentage?
340 million.
That's pretty close. What percentage is 7,000 out of 340 million?
Hold on, don't tell me. I'm going to try to do the math on it with a calculator. Okay. 340 million Is it 23,800?
What? No, percentage.
Oh.
What
Right.
answer did you just come up with?
Nothing.
The answer is 0.002%. I think it's higher than that.
That are fixing a toilet, not touching, not taking, not going to the bathroom.
Fixing a toilet.
Fixing a toilet.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah. I think 0.01% of the population are fixing a toilet at any given time.
How many is that?
More than 7,000. 1% would be 3.4 million. Then it would be, so that's about 34,000 people are fixing toilets.
I thought it would be like 340,000.
No, that would be 0.1%.
And you're saying 0.01%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fixing toilets right now. That's probably too many. 34,000 people fixing toilets right now.
What's making me crazy right now is that you think that somehow I know the answer. You're like, what do you think? What do you think?
I mean, you're a well-traveled, smart woman. I figured you might know.
We definitely need to like lift and separate, like breasts.
Huh. Yeah, my brain just had to work through that one. We're talking about a television, for the record. We never once said that.
Yeah. No, I hear that now.
Yeah.
So just real quick before we get started, we do plan to do interesting streams like Baldur's Gate, Minecraft, and other things. Yes, some 3D printing might happen, although I personally do not like 3D printing cams because I don't get it. But there are some really great sites on Twitch that you can watch really cool things being made. So maybe we'll join like the 3D printing community or something, and then you can watch that. But I'm more excited about dog cams and cat cams. Those are a thing. The cat likes to sit just right over here. So I'm going to work on kind of getting that stuff going. So a lot of the things we've been talking about and dreaming about seem to be coming together.
I thought you were going to say you don't like 3D printers. I was like, what a time to tell me that after I just dropped some dollar bills on one finally. Yeah, I don't really like this, Ian. I don't think you should do it. Badgie said, nice choice. That means I picked a good one. The 3D printer.
Oh, you did so much research though.
I'm like 10, I'm not kidding, 10 years of watching the technology develop, evolve, grow, to wait for the right time and the right and this printer, this is the 3D printer podcast, the Bamboo Labs A1 combo is just like it feels like a great entry level printer to get me started on my journey, and I'm going to be making a hypo spray.
There's a
hypo spray.
We specifically did an episode to get all of our crazy out so that we could get straight to the point today. Yeah. And right away we fucked it.
Yeah, but we still need outtakes. This is gold. This is what people hang around until the end of the show for.
Like a little turd hanging off an ass. Yeah. Waiting to drop into the toilet.
Wow, the outtakes are the turd hanging off the ass of the episode. You know, some people that's their favourite part of the episode, so good to know.
Anyway, you fixed the toilet. Congratulations.
There was one of the messages in the chat was it would be brilliant if a TOS Gorn appeared in the reflection behind Ortega's.
My God.
Get it? That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Oh, that's so funny.
It'd be great.
That. Yeah,
it'd be amazing.
That would be hilarious. I would really enjoy that. We should talk about that real quick before we jump into the show, actually, since this is kind of still a little behind the scenes-ish.
Yeah.
We have decided to not carry forward with the sins section of the show. Don't freak out.
Yeah, don't freak out. It's fine.
You can still sin the show if you want to. But what we'll do is he's going to be experimenting with a new segment that is sort of a combination of comments and emails, because we don't talk about the emails enough. And I have been giving him shit about that for so long. So
that's also going to solve some of the issues of like when we're in 10 Forward and talking about it, we're like, save it for the sins. And we want to talk about the pluses and negatives kind
during
of all together. So your kind of like fan submitted sins and emails are going to be the new engineering section. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit different, but basically the same content is being covered. We're just going to be able to add emails and messages from you guys a lot more seamlessly.
We're hoping.
We hope. Fuck it. Who knows? It's time for me to turn it off before we blow up.
Oh, shit. I forgot this is a part of our show. Oh, no. I think I deleted it. Hold on.
Oh, no. I messed mine up anyway. Is it previously on? This will help you a lot.
I don't remember any of this. Oh, shit. Oh, wait. They were in space. There was something that was on...
Update, they were in space.
Shut the fuck up. Okay, so I want to get speakers for this room that make my ass shake when the song goes on because there's such good bass in it, and this TV does it a disservice.
My soundbar will do that.
Like, I want to shake. I want to feel space.
You want Jefferies to rupture your anus?
I'd like my anus unruptured.
Oh, okay. Vibrated.
Yes. Oh, so that's how it's gonna end, right? Like when he's in his wheelchair thingy, and she holds him, and she's like, "I'm still here, while he's just beep booping around.
I wouldn't bet on it, not if they stick to established canon.
Oh shit! Oh, I'm telling you, that's a cue.
That's not a coincidence.
Thank you.
They stopped short of a flash, but maybe that would have been too much.
So I suppose there's a situation where everyone is then, if it is a cue, everyone is then in
his imagination.
Well, if it's a cue, everyone is in that reality.
Yeah, he's manipulated everyone's perception of reality, or they're in a pocket dimension.
Which then makes us more interesting.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So I was out, and I'm like, oh, okay, so if they're all thinking... But it's interesting that he isolated the boyfriend.
Oh, that's deliberate.
Because maybe they can, like, bring it... Like, the Dr. Corby could, like, break the trance or something.
There's something about Corby that he can't manipulate.
Yeah.
There's something off, and Corby's going to see through it. Yeah, this is way more interesting than it's a hallucination or it's a magical dream. Like, if it's Q, then this is reality.
I think he's a bored Q.
I think he's a Q we've seen before.
Really?
Yeah. I think he's... I don't know whether to say it.
Say it.
I think he's Trelane.
Trelane, okay.
Who isn't a Q, canonically. But that doesn't... Trelane didn't really snap his fingers. Holy shit!
It is Q! It's his son! It's his son!
It's always nice when I get one of those to end the show on at the end of the outtakes. It's great. I
just
like that.
Gibberish?
100%. You should listen to the show once or twice.
No, I never listen to the show.
All of the outtakes end with something crazy.
Do I do it all the time?
100%.
Shit.
Without fail.
Okay.
I never worry about how I'm going to end the show. Because a cold close is just as crucial as a cold open.